Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C-Certified Brewhead.
And I am Nathan from Nathan Does Beer.
And welcome to episode 241 of Beer Another the Podcast Adjunct series. Nathan, where the fuck have we been?
Oh my goodness, we are back and it has been a while. Where have we been indeed?
Where that's the key question of this episode. It has been, depending on when you're watching or listening, from the last pod, probably end of April 2026, and by the time this comes out, kind of mid-August, what's that, like 3.5 months? Pushing 4. You know, it's been a summer for us both, eh?
It has, yes.
It's and it's also been a while. We typically end up unintentionally taking like little breaks in the summertime, just basically because of travel. Obviously, you had your second child last year, so there was, I think you had travel anyway, and if that wasn't happening, there still would have been breaks.
Not last summer because at the beginning of the summer, my wife was was 38 weeks pregnant, so we weren't so we weren't going too far, and my daughter was born at the end of July. So yeah, no travel last year, but I was busy for other reasons.
Very busy for other reasons. Maybe I'm thinking of the year before. This feels like familiar. I've always got a sieve memory, but
yeah, because we do usually travel for at least part of the summer, and it tends to overlap with with when you've got things going on with with the business, anyways. So yeah, we do often end up taking a month summer hiatus or
definitely.
So.
Just not 3.5.
No, just not 3.5. It was a lot longer this year with all of the with all of the travels you've been up to, and I've been traveling a little bit as well. So
yeah,
that's what we're going to be getting caught up on tonight.
Yes, and the fun part of this is that you and I haven't actually spoken on the phone or anything like that to sort of really get into it. So we'll actually be genuinely sharing this with each other in real time, which is kind of fun.
Absolutely, and, we've been talking to each other on a semi-daily basis as we usually do when we're both at home. So we knew where each other was at, but in terms of what we were actually doing and all that, like you say, we haven't given the full scope of that to each other yet. So we're going to be having a nice little chill hang here and sharing it with the people as we do.
Hell yeah. I've been looking forward to this one. This is going to be great. And we were just saying off air that this is like a cool way to kind of ease back in after 3.5 months. I'm sure we're both a little rusty there with the old pod. So nice chill way to get back into it. So what we're going to do, we're basically going to go back and forth throughout the episode. And we've both been to multiple different locations throughout the summer. So what we did, we thought would be fun is that we got beers to represent those places from those places. Some of them, actually, or basically all of them, except for some of the places that you went to, are relatively difficult to get hold of here and there. So we did the best that we could, and I think we did a pretty decent job of that. So we're going to basically be cracking the beers and then kind of just telling the stories of what we did in each place while we were there, what we saw, mostly focus around beer. Obviously, that's what we're all here to listen to. And if there's anything fun like food or cool shit that you saw, then obviously we'll yap about that too. But fuck, man, I'm stoked. Let's
and we should preface this by saying don't be too shocked when you see some beers showing up on this episode that you wouldn't normally expect to see on an episode of BAOS.
Yes, that's a great caveat. And once you hear where the places that we have both been are, you will understand why we chose those specific beers. It's essentially lack of options. That is the main reason. Or the only option.
Well, really. In my case, one of them is it's actually what I was actually drinking there. So, but anyway, that's enough preamble. We should just get into it.
We should get right into it. So, we'll both obviously crack beers because we're not just going to wait. But tell us what you got first.
So I have Dos Equis.
Hey, the classic
from Mexico, as y'all know, and this was one. Thankfully, very easy to find in LCBO or beer store. This was because, as you can probably guess, I was in Mexico, and at the resort that I was at, this was basically one of 2 beers that were on offer there. And this was even a case of, it's been a very long time since I've bought Dos Equis in Ontario. And I realized in doing so that they basically only sell them in 6-pack bottles. But I was committed to having it to properly do this episode. So I'm gonna have to, I'll have some I'll have some light lagers to crack on hot barbecue days. This
I was
summer.
gonna say, either invite people over or like good grilling beers. You don't even have to think about it too much, and
exactly
nice and chill. One thing I was actually gonna bring this up during it, but I might as well ask you now. When I was one of the beers I have tonight is from a country I was posting about it. Sorry, from a country I went to. When I was posting about it, people were like, "Man, I love that beer when I was there." But I've had it since I've been home, and it fucking tastes like shit. And I wonder if it's the same with something like Dos Equis, where nice, look at you. Okay, get your photo of that. That's perfect. Well, the head's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
This marks in 11 years and change of BAOS the first time we've had a lime on the pod, a lime wedge in a beer on the podcast. For those who are listening audio, that's why we were laughing. Sorry. Oh, that's awesome. Well done. Well played.
Yeah, I didn't tell Cee ahead of time that I was going to do that.
I don't know why.
Well, it's just part of the experience, But anyway,
do it.
Makes it more palatable.
Yes.
I'll get to that when I'm talking about mine.
And yes. Okay, perfect. So I am rocking Crowns and Hops, the dopest hazy IPA, courtesy of good friend of the show, Crowns and Hops, Tio. I hang out with twice this year. First time in LA, coming back from Melbourne in March, and then the second time in May when we were in Palm Springs. So he drove like the 3 hours from LA to come out to hang out with us in Palm Springs in the middle of the desert. What a champion. And he hooked me up with a few 4-packs of the Dopest Hazy IPA, which I thought I had
too. Nice.
Yeah, I got the OG. This is from the original crowdfunding campaign, the OG Founders Club on the back there. And this is the special, I think it's the HBCU artwork. So I'm looking forward to putting this on the old shelf. So
it is gorgeous.
So I managed, it was good because he gave me a few of them. I was able to send some over to you, which was great because it's obviously a beer that you don't get very often. I don't even know if you've ever had Crowns and Hops beers before this.
You have hooked me up with a couple of others before. I think this is probably the third I've had.
You know what? I do remember from he gave me like a case when I was in Florida in 2023, I believe. Yes, he sent me a case over, which was pretty sick. So I did bring some. Yeah. Yes.
One of the other ones that you gave me was an IPA, and one of them was the Allagash collab, whichever one that one was.
Yes, it's called. It was funny. I still have a can of that in the fridge. I didn't try it because it's mixed. It's just a blend with their triple.
Yeah,
it's got an 8 in it. Curiate, because I think what's the Allagash triple called? Curiosity or something, and they called it like Curiate, something like that.
Right.
Crowns and Hops Allagash collab. So we might as well find out. Curate, CUR-8. Okay. And it was Crowns and Hops 8 Trill Pills, hence the 8, and then Allagash Curieux, like in French, which is their triple. Yeah, which is sick. So this Dopest one. So this is the newest version of it. So I'm not sure what. It's a HBCU and BPLB. It's double dry hop, similar to that. So this isn't the HBCU one. I know this was a specific. This is soccer. This might have been a World Cup one.
Okay.
Oh, that's
cool.
You're
right.
Shit, I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm not sure what the hops are, but I also love the gold.
The gold can, the gold can top, yeah.
Okay, so when we finish pouring, we'll do a nice little cheers, brother. Great to see your face, my man.
Great to see you too. Good to be back. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Likewise. Nice. I feel like there's almost better when I got it, it was like a week or two old, and now it must be like 3 months and change, and I feel like it's like better. Unless I'm tripping balls and I haven't had it for a while. No, very, very good. So, where do we start? I guess I'll start with. Should I start with Cali?
Yeah, as we discussed off screen, you've got a couple more locations than I do and a couple more beers, so you better kick it off.
Yeah, alrighty. So, in the beginning of May, so I think I've been in Canada as much as I've been out of Canada this year, which is kind of crazy, and none of it was planned, which is the funniest part. Everything was very, very last minute. I had to go to Australia in February for 2.5 weeks to see Mum. I hadn't been in 7 years, so that was good because it was summer there. So that was that trip, which was sort of planned quite at the end of 2025. So it was still not very it wasn't like 2 years in advance or any shit like that. So I knew beforehand we were invited. So we have a social media agency. Probably most folks watching and listening should know, called Hazy & Co. And we have a educational part. So we have a YouTube channel, and we have Meta is a client of ours from the agency from 2020, but we also work with other parts of Meta who we work with. They didn't even know that we worked with them on the agency side as content creators. And this one basically is like a communications department, and they promote Meta ads essentially. So I knew this before I went to Australia. He messaged our contact and was like, guys, we're having a conference in San Jose, California in May, and we'd love to send you out there. So essentially, pay for they just give you a budget and you just book your own stuff and whatever. And we're like, all right, let's do it. And we were going to drive, and we had this whole cross-country trip planned. I planned it out like Chicago, and then like Omaha, Nebraska, then you get to Denver, and then Salt Lake City. I had this whole thing. I was talking to people, getting beer recos, had this whole thing on the way back. Go to Phoenix, see my friend Phil, who did Brewheads, who's the theme song after his brand, all this shit. So we're like, all right, sick, let's make something out of this, because it's a pretty good opportunity. The money obviously wouldn't have covered any more than half of it, but why not, right? So we were starting to plan it out, but we for some reason we hesitated to book anything. And then we got another email. I remember I went to Cleveland. That was the other thing. I forgot about that. I went to Cleveland for my birthday in April. Because Tiff always goes, my girlfriend Tiffany is one of the producers on the show. She always goes somewhere cool for her birthday every year. And I'm not a birthday guy, so I never really gave a fuck. And I was like, you know what? God damn it, I should start going somewhere. And I wanted to go to Cleveland last year because I wanted to go to Ill Will and Clag Brewing, and I was like, all right, fuck it. So we went for my birthday. I remember getting back on like a Sunday from Cleveland, and then on Monday morning we had an email from WhatsApp for Business, because we connected with one of the dudes from there who was super cool, and he was like, hey guys, there's a conference in London, England. We want to send you out to that in June. And we're like, oh well, if we drove and went to California and then came back, we would have like 1 day before going. And we're like, that can't work. So then we had to we have the dogs. We had to, figure out the flights. It's a whole other very, very in-depth conversation, which is out of scope of this for sure. But either way, we figured out the dog stuff. So we decided to fly. But we were like, all right, well, let's just do 2 weeks in Cali, because we hadn't been to Cali. And I went to LA for 8 hours and saw my friend Craig, who's been on the channel, not on the pod, I don't think, multiple times. He's in San Diego, so he came up, and then we went like bike riding on Santa Monica and Venice Beach.
That's crazy that you even managed to do anything for an 8-hour stay.
It's not my first time doing it, actually. And there's another one I'm going to talk about tonight, but that was the second time we did it in LA. One time we took Tiffany's mum to Australia. We had another 8-hour, 9-hour layover in LA, and we went to the Chinese theater. We went up to the Hollywood sign. We went for brunch, and we went to
oh my god, that's insane.
We went to Modern Times before they closed down in downtown LA. So yeah, done that before. Used to making the most of a layover. So yeah, Craig came up from San Diego, picked me up. We went and did all of that, and then he brought some like North Park, who haze lords out of San Diego, and we were drinking out on the beach. Then I spoke to Tio, and we went to Monkish, and he came by Monkish and hung out, which was super cool. And that's how he came by and gave me these beers, which was awesome. So That was the second time, sorry. He didn't give me beers and monkeys time. We bought beers and monkeys. He gave me this the last trip. So all of that to say, that was the first time I've been in Cali since 2017. It's been such a long time. And then this trip, we were like, oh, sick. We haven't been for 9 years. This is actually really exciting. So we knew we had the conference in San Jose, which is about an hour south of San Francisco. So we're like, all right, let's see what we could do here. So we flew into San Francisco. We rented a car. People were giving, like Tio specifically was giving me shit for this afterwards, but we didn't really plan it before we booked the flight. So we just did in and out of San Francisco. My uncle, like my father's brother, it's a town called Corona, and it's near Anaheim, which is an hour or so out of LA. So we were like, well, why don't we get a car? Then we can just drive around and go to all these different places I'll get to all the different places we want to go to. So we're like, all right, let's drive down. We'll stay with him. I've always wanted, he's been there for 8 years. So we haven't gone and seen him. He hasn't come to see us. So we're like, all right, let's go see his crib and go stay with him. So I didn't realize that San Francisco to Corona is like 6-hour drive when we could have flown into LA and driven like an hour and change. So that's why Tio was giving me shit. But I didn't really think about like flight, because when we booked it, we actually had it routed differently and then we changed it. So anyway, a bit of a duffer, but and it was a bit hard because it was an early flight. It was like an 8 a.m. flight or something like that. And so that means you had to be at the airport at like 6. So it means you're up at like 4:35. So I barely slept. And then I had to drive. I'm like slapping my face trying to stay awake because the Highway 5 on the way down from the only way to go from Northern to Southern California, unless you go by the ocean, and it starts to get a bit boring. So I'm like, fuck, it was dying. But so the first thing in Corona, super cool. Also, one thing, most time I don't know. You've been to Cali, obviously, right? You've been to.
Yes, I've been to Berkeley and San Francisco before. That's it.
Okay. So, I didn't so when you came, you would have flown right into San Francisco and then taken a train okay.
Yeah.
That was my experience too. SF, LA and, San Diego primarily for me. So you fly in, you do a couple things and I didn't realize it. Basically, I don't think we would ever not looking at mountains for 15 days the whole time. It's absolutely spectacular. Like even leaving SF, getting on the highway on the 5, and then it's like these like it looks like sand dunes with like those real sort of sharp edges and stuff, but it's like little like beige colored grass and stuff. Just beautiful. Then Corona on one side where my uncle lived was all these green mountains, and they're all canyons. So where he lives is all in these like gated canyons, and you're looking out at these other hills which look like those beige hills. So you've got both. It's just, I had no idea, and I was kind of annoyed that no one ever said nothing. I just feel like everyone talks about Cali. Yeah, it's pretty, it's cool, Cali's sick, but like Jesus, it's like it was better than anything I ever imagined. Like I truly, I was a bit of a, I was gonna say hater as well. It's not true. I just kind of like fronted on it a bit. Like, yeah, whatever, man. Cali beer's sick, and I can get it. My Craig usually hooks me up, but like, yeah, I don't need to go there. I'm like, dude, it's the best. It is so fire. So, what I knew was the beer side, Anaheim, is 30 minutes from Corona. So I was like 6. So the first night, chilled with my uncle, boom. The second day, which happened to be Cinco de Mayo, we were like, all right, let's go hit a couple breweries. So I knew of 2. I knew of the brewery, Brouery, and
the sour place,
and basically barrel aged place. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and Monkish in Anaheim. So I was like, sick. I want to go to both. So we pulled up to the brewery. Super cool. Like we vlogged it all. You guys can watch the California vlog. I'll link it below. The brewery was super fire. I think I had Crispy there, and I think I even had their haze because I didn't realize the night got out of control quick. I was driving too. I was careful, but driving. So I was like, I'm just going to go to 2 places, a couple beers in each, boom, easy. I had that super cool, nice little like industrial park, typical American, North American brewery situation. Chatted up the dude behind the counter pause, and he gave me some like the new whatever stout, like 19% stout, little taster of that. I'm like, it's really good stuff. It's so high octane and tastes so good without being syrupy. It's have you ever had this stuff?
No, I haven't.
No, I only did recently because I got their Black Tuesday, I think last year, which they drop every Thanksgiving.
Right.
So they drop all those type of things. So I only had one of those bottles, and I got a couple bottles from there of just some other stouts, but super cool. So that was awesome. Really enjoyed the brewery. While we were there, I was looking because they had like a pop up. I wanted some food. They had like a pop up thing, so we ate some it was like a Cuban joint. People were super nice. And then I saw that Bottle Logic was like 7-minute drive. I'm like, what?
Ooh.
Like, okay. Like, fuck. All right, I've already had 2 beers. Okay. So we go drive down to Bottle Logic, and I had another hazy IPA. It was fine. I don't think it's their strongest point.
No, all I know about Bottle Logic from what I like from the folks that I follow who either go to the US fairly regularly or are big in the trading scene, or particularly like the one I see it the most on is probably like Greg from Counterparts page when he's getting into some of his deep collection is the big barrel stouts. If I didn't know any better, I'd assume that's all they made. I didn't even know they made haze.
Yes, I had no clue either. I just like all their fridge, the vast majority was bottles. So I was like, well, obviously I'm not having a 12% whatever pastry stout right now.
No, of course you got to drive still.
Absolutely, and I would never really have it out, even if I wasn't driving, because that's a momentum killer. You go and have that.
Oh yeah,
a little sip or something, sure, but I'm not, an ounce or two, but I'm not gonna have a pour or something like that. It's crazy. I see people do it, but y'all are insane. I don't know. It's weird. But so I had that. Place was cool. Picked up a bottle. Because I didn't know what for some reason I think my internet I had a real rough time with the internet this whole trip. It was better towards the end of this last part, but I got a feeling I wasn't able to check. No, it wasn't even that. I just didn't know what I had in my cellar. I had 2 bottles from them, so I didn't want to double up in case it was something. So I just grabbed something I'd definitely never seen before. Super cool, like a real nerdy what do you call it, video gamey type of vibe. It was cool. I liked it a lot. Once again, all of these places, I wish I could have spent more time to really soak up what it is that they do. So gone to those 2 places, and I'm like, all right, cool, time for Monkish. Drove to Monkish, thought they might have had food, also didn't have food. Because we had the Cuban place was more like a snack. I think I can't even remember what it was, like a little mini sandwich and some fries or something, nothing crazy. Go to Monkish, got 1 beer, got a couple 4-packs to go and stuff, and no food. And I'm looking for food. And then as I'm looking for food, this is their second place. So the main one's the one in Torrance, which is the one I'd been to twice now. Then this was their the second location. So it's just like they had a back area there, so they might actually brew there. But it's very, very small tap room, super small. In this cool area of Anaheim where it's just like all shops and restaurants and like fairy lights and palm trees and stuff. It was really nice. So they didn't have any food, so I'm looking for food, and then I saw Green Cheek was nearby. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? So we're like, all right, let's finish up. Let's go. Get to Green Cheek, and they also didn't have food.
No,
shit. There were just all tap rooms back to back to back. So pulled up to Green Cheek. All 4 of these places were very industrial park type of spaces, which is fine. Green Cheek blew me away by far. So I had a Westie there because that's what they're known for. I'd had their beers from Fred before, shout out Fred, but nothing fresh. It'd always been kind of old. So the Westie was phenomenal, and I wanted to get something to go. They had a West Coast Pils. I was like, let me try the Haze, and I grabbed the 4-pack of the Haze. That Hazy IPA was by far the best haze that I had in California.
Wow.
So I couldn't believe how incredible it was. Like Green Cheek was so fire. The people were mad cool, just beyond impressed. Absolutely beyond impressed. So that was, I believe, is in Orange is the area. It's their Orange tap room. So I believe that's their main spot. They had all the tanks and shit there. And they got like 3 or 4 locations as well. When I was there, I found out that Everywhere, are you familiar with them? A brewery called just Everywhere? No. All the logos, all lowercase, typically in orange as Everywhere underneath. I thought they were from Portland, Oregon, but they're from fucking Anaheim or whatever. What's that area called? Like OC, I guess. And the Portland one's the second one. And I found that out later, and we were leaving. We weren't able to go past. I was pretty vexed about that. Not that I would have had the bandwidth anyway, but I would have planned the day differently if I knew that all of these things existed. So everything kind of like fell into. So I was a little bit pissed, but I was like, you know what? Excuse to get back. And now I understand. I just feel like whenever I find, I don't know about you, whenever I find stuff with traveling that's super sick, and then I'm just like, no one fucking told me about. I just feel like sometimes I get like annoyed. Like, how did I not hear about how? Does that resonate? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get I get that.
To a degree.
Yeah. You can definitely be shocked sometimes and be like, how the fuck did I not know this?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
The thought doesn't usually occur to me like how did no one tell me this? But it's more like,
how did I not know this?
Yeah, like how did I not know this? Like, how am I just discovering this now? I mean, like it's essentially the same thought.
Yeah, exactly. Where I'm actually just externalizing the blame as opposed to taking it. Really is what that is. I should be doing it. I just felt like it was like, I would have, if this area, I knew the area was dope, but I feel like how would I have not have seen someone talk about all this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like every time I'd seen people post about everywhere, and it'd always been Portland. Even recently, Remy, what's his Instagram? Who poured for us at the festival? Dude from Montreal.
Def IPA. Is that Def IPA?
Yeah. He went up for Brewhouse anniversary, either I think it was earlier this year or late last year or something, and he was at everywhere there. So it was like every time I'd seen somebody, it's always been up there. So anyway, I was like, God damn it. So that was sick. Then we went to Palm Springs just for one night. We always wanted to go. We did the cruise around. It's always been in like movies and stuff, and once again, no one told us about the mountains. It's like Colorado or some shit. Like I'm talking like 10,000, I don't know, 10 like fucking massive snow-capped mountains next to just straight desert plains. It's incredible, and I just felt like that was the one thing about Palm Springs that no one ever spoke about. So it's basically hot as shit, middle of nowhere, straight desert. We went to a brewery downtown called La Quinta, Quinta. The beer downtown was super chill. So Tio was coming to meet us, and he was like, yeah, the brewers, he reckons he's the brewer of this brewery is the best brewer in California. I'm like, so it's a big call. So I had like a black IPA, not a black IPA, dark lager, I'm sorry, there. And when we're ordering, the guy was like, oh, you know how it goes. Where you guys coming in from? And blah, blah, blah. We told him, he's like, oh yeah, we got another location with, the brew house and everything's over there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We'll see. Because I'm like, well, we're already here. It's fine. You got all the same beers. It doesn't bother me. And then I was like, it clicked. I was like, oh, Tio thinks we're meeting at that one. We went to this downtown one. I'm like, oh, fuck. So we had one beer, like told, closed it up. I'm like, oh, we're going to go to the other place. We got a friend meeting us. So we went to the other one, which is in an area called Palm Desert. And Palm Desert, because we ended up talking to the head chef and the brewer, who were awesome dudes. They were saying that, I think it's called Indian Wells, which is where they have the US Open, is around the corner from there. And apparently it's like a stretch of road that's like 1 mile long. That's the wealthiest road in all of America in that area. So it's pretty cool just seeing the other areas. So that place was cool. Extraordinarily impressed with what I had there. I had their new Westie. Fucking fantastic. So good. So I knew what Tia was talking about. Really, really good. Very impressed. And they're very like the branding isn't, like, to be honest, it's not the most like fire. It looks kind of like a bit of just a brewery, like, a bit pedestrian kind of whatever, but absolutely over what's the word, overperformed on what they were doing. It was fantastic. That was one that I was arguably most impressed, because just looking at the branding, I had no expectations, even though Tio did say it was a nice fire. So that was sick. And then after Palm Springs, we went to Napa. So we stayed very conveniently, another long ass boring drive, but this time I wasn't sleepy. We stayed literally 2 blocks from Russian River in Santa Rosa. So Santa Rosa, so I guess you haven't been up there yet, but now, because I'd only been to the one, there's a town. So Santa Rosa is like the bigger town. And then there's another town called Windsor, like 10, 15 minutes from there. That's the one I went to the first time in 2019 or something like that. Yeah. So we stayed near the OG brew pub. Super cool. Santa Rosa, fucking cool ass town. Loved it. So nice. The brew pub, awesome. food. Like I bought it. They had like a Pliny hot sauce. So I got the wings with the hot sauce, and they smother them bitches in the hot sauce. Everything was coming out of all my orifices, pause. It was great. It was so spicy. So probably should have just got it on the side and dipped in as opposed to smothered.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my God. That sounds rough.
I was hurting for like 2 days afterwards. One of those ones,
Yeah.
So I've been too scared to open up the bottle, but it was super cool. Obviously, I'm getting blind pigging and Pliny there, and I had some of they had a cool pills collab with somebody, Firestow Walker or something, I think. Just really nice to go to that place. So that was super cool. We explored Napa a bunch. We'd been to Napa in 2019 as well, but this was the first time back since then. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, you're a wine dude as well. Like the wine countries, I don't know, kind of can't beat it. It's just the best.
Yeah.
Like the fucking best. Rolling hills, everything is just gorgeous. So we did one day Napa, one day Sonoma. And I'm actually struggling to remember. It's been that much of a crazy 3 months. I'm struggling to remember exactly what we did there. But during the days it was kind of all wineries. I don't even remember dinners, nothing. Wow, fuck, that's crazy. So in Napa, there's this thing called the Oxbow Market, like Oxbow Brewery in Maine. And they have Ritual. You know that cafe Ritual, the one with the red hook? Yep.
Yes.
So
yes.
They got them in SF, but also there. So we went there last time, and they had this brewery called Fieldwork. I went to 2 or 3 of their locations in 2019. If I'm honest,
and they're actually one that I've been to. I've been to their Berkeley tap room when I was there.
Okay, that's one I went to as well in 2019. It was okay. The tap room's sick. The beer was like, it was fine. I don't know if you remember what you thought of it.
So I went there. Like this is going back a ways. I think it would have been 2017, maybe. So I think it was 2017, kind of like really earlier on in the haze, like in the haze kind of time.
Okay.
So it was a bit fewer and farther in between. What I remember having was awesome to me at the time. I would probably look at it differently now, but I really loved what I had at the time, and it was also just kind of like a rare experience for me. And my mate that we were down there to visit when they moved back up from San Francisco got 3 crowlers from them and brought them up to me. So they hold a special place in my heart for that.
Oh, okay. Absolutely understood. I think that's actually pretty sick. So I would have had them 2 years later. So that means I would have been 2 years more advanced in haze in 2017. I also it was very new for us as Canadians to get hold of it. That's a very good point. And I was drinking haze from them. I recall specifically. I think I had a crispy and a haze at least, and then something else when I went. So this time they had one. It used to be inside the Oxbow Market. It was kind of just almost like a little counter, like it was super small. Now they actually took like this whole patio on the outside. Like it's actually much nicer. Fucking so impressed. So good. I can't remember what I had there. I had like just one because we didn't have a lot of time, so we're trying to zip around. So I remember grabbing like a mixed 4-pack of stuff and having probably a crispy or something there. And I remember really enjoying it. All 4 of the cans. A1 haze, Westies, crispies, everything so good. I don't know, so maybe I just chose poorly, maybe palate didn't match whatever it was back then. This time phenomenal, so impressed.
I love to hear that.
So that was super cool, particularly now I didn't know. I would have been able to get some for you if I knew that it was like a brewery that was meaning something to you, bro. So good to know for next time. So Fieldwork was cool. I'm trying to picture what else. So Napa, Sonoma. There might be something else that I'm missing. I kind of had a feeling that we didn't. Oh, the only other place was at the end of the night, like our last night, and I went to the Windsor Russian River because I just wanted to. There was basically no one there. We're like the last people there. They're super cool because they're incredibly dog friendly. The dude was really nice, like super nice. And they'd closed their merch store, and he reopened it for me. So it's just me, like turned the lights back on and let me sort of shop and just was chatting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which was super cool. And I didn't even, because I was so worried because I had to fly. I'm not used to flying. We always drive. I was terrified about the weight of the bag. So I didn't buy any bottles because that's the worst possible thing to bring back. I was like, I had it in both locations. I had Pliny, I had Blind Pit, whatever. Everywhere you go out there, it's on tap. So it's like just everywhere as a treat. So it just didn't really feel like.
So you kind of felt like you had your fix.
Basically, and I just kind of think I would have made my life a bit more difficult. I didn't have a second bag, like we had because we flew business, so I had the ability to bring that, but we didn't want to lug all that around, so I didn't bring that. I was like, you couldn't. So I was desperate. I could have got a bag, put some clothes in it, wrapped it up, but I was like, it's just not that serious. So got to go to both. So it was really nice to do the different experiences side by side and just to see how the other one had changed, and the Windsor one had not changed. It was awesome. So that was Napa. Then we were so we had to go to San Jose, which is not known as a beer city, and there were two different people that we ended up not meeting with, but we were supposed to meet two different friends who don't know each other, a separate thing, in Santa Cruz. And Santa Cruz is about an hour south of San Jose. So San Jose is like an hour and change south of Napa, and then from there. So once they kind of put it in my head, I was like, I just want to go to Santa Cruz. And it was Barrington, our dog's birthday that day. So he turned 4. So we're like, all right, fuck it, let's go. So we went down to Santa Cruz. The downside of that was we had a car full of everything. We had all our bags. California is renowned for break-ins, so we were extra cautious is probably the better word. So there was 2 main reasons I wanted to go there. One was the cafe called Cat and Cloud. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
Okay, do I have it? I think they're over there. Basically, there's a podcast I used to listen to, and these guys had a coffee podcast. I loved it, the owners of this one. So I'd always wanted to go. So we went to one on, by the time we got there, it was a bit late. So went to one downtown Santa Cruz. Super dope, really cool branding. Everything was awesome. Grabbed some beans, phenomenal. And then we just cruised around. You couldn't really park anywhere. So we're just like, all right, let's just drive around the city, see what's up. Go for a bit of park the car so we could see it, go for a walk by the water with Barrington, take some cute shots of him for his birthday. Then I was looking and I found 2 breweries that were there. One is Humble Sea, and they are, I guess, like a haze kind of brewery. So we pulled up there, and there was like no parks that I could see. Like it's just on like a street next to a railway line, like an industrial area as always. And there were no parks. I'm like, okay, fuck. All right, well, let me just pull up in front, just double park for a sec, or in front where it wasn't a park, and just wait where it was like all parallel parks. Or just in front. So we're trying to figure out. Now there's another brewery, which actually happened to have this here, called Santa Adarius.
Oh, yeah.
In there, who I'd heard about back in the day from the beginning of the pod. There was these brewers called Wild Shack in Montreal. They used to rave about it. I'm talking the first 20, 30 episodes. And they told me about it. So I was like, all right, they're here. Let's go there. As we were sort of about to leave, the car at the very front left. So I was like, all right, just reverse in. Boom, right out front. Got a table right out front, staring at the car. Boom. So had a couple beers there. Shit was awesome. Crispy, haze, fantastic. Really good stuff. Grabbed some stuff to go. They got really fun branding, really like bright, colorful, cool like drawings and shit, like illustrations. Super dope. And then it was getting late. We had to get to San Jose. Everything's got similar names there. So we're like, all right, there was another Santa Adarius in Oakland. So we're like, cool, I'll just go there. So we left there, San Jose. That whole week, we had a conference. So we had to finally do the conference, get some work. We stayed in this cool ass area called Santana Row. And it was kind of one of those like Americans that Florida has them a bunch. They're just like shops both sides, and above the shops are like condos. And they got like palm trees and all this stuff. It was a really nice place to be based. So we were there. And while we were there after the conference, we went to 2 different places. There was one that's like, they have these like, they don't really have it here. It's almost just like a marketplace. Picture like, I don't know, St. Lawrence Market in Toronto, but there's a brewery in there. And you can go and you can take the beer and you can walk around and drink it while you're shopping and doing all this stuff. Like it's super cool. Or there's like an outdoor area. So we went to a place called I think it was like Market Beer Co. Pull up. They got a whole fucking, like I was telling the bartender, like, you don't understand. You've just got every Russian River beer in bottles right here. Like you don't know. You just like, it's nothing. It's just right there. Like you could drink that right now, and it's not a big. It was just like trying to explain to them how much of a big deal it was that they just had it like that.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I had a couple beers there. That was like the final day after the conference, and that place was super cool. Then we found this other place called Narrative Fermentations. That was also pretty dope. Just that was like another industrial park brewery. Had some haze, some sours, like fruited sours, super nice. That was really great. Enjoyed that a lot. So San Jose isn't known beer city. We were there for the longest, like 5 days. Everything else was like 2-3 nights or something. And then after that, we went to San Francisco for the final weekend. That was sick. I liked San Francisco, then I didn't like it, and then now I'm just enamored by it. It was unbelievable. It was so
came back around.
Came right back around. Tiff and I were just gassed over it. It was beautiful. The hills. We stayed in I forgot the area, whatever, but it was really difficult near downtown Union Square because all the hotels seem to be, because I guess that's where everything's from, like Airbnb and all that stuff. So they locked them into very few areas, the hotels and the Airbnbs. So our friend was selling to stay in this area called North Beach, which is essentially like Little Italy. But we ended up spending basically every day there. It was the sickest fucking area I've ever seen. I loved it so much. It was so fire. As far as breweries, we went to Toronado, which is the famous beer bar. Weirdest experience of my life in there. I couldn't wait to get out. I normally wouldn't say that. I told people this, and they're like, "Oh, I should have warned you." Like, so you pull up, there's a bouncer checking ID. Typically, not a good sign, right? Like, you gotta check ID. That means you're getting some either troublemakers or like something's going on. So we came in there, and I'm filming with my little camera, the DJI, the little stick camera, and then immediately the bartender's like, "No filming, no filming." I was like, "Okay, sorry." It was mad, or just like don't have people in the shots, and I was kind of filming the bar to catch the vibe of it. So after that, I just had to get the wall or the taps where there's no one in it. It was super difficult, and I just felt uncomfortable because he kind of yelled at me the second I walked in. So I had one beer, and Tiff didn't even have anything. We just got the fuck out of there. So that was, but everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's the whole beauty of the place. It's grimy dive bar, and they're a bit grouchy." And then I'm like, "Oh, okay. If I knew." I probably would have. I just had no expectations. I was expecting a normal beer bar, and it was its own unique thing. So that's just how I felt. But in hindsight, and multiple people told me, so I was like, okay, my bad. Where else did we go?
One of those things is kind of hard if you don't know, right?
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? Like, I didn't research enough. I just knew the name. So I was like, okay. Where else did we go? I'm just having a quick picture. So we went to Oakland, which was a little bit sketch. Downtown Oakland, pretty sketch. Loved it. Went to Santa Adarius there. So they're big on like mixed firm and stuff like that. So I think I had some Crispies and mixed firm. That was cool. We went to another brewery called Ghost Town. Fucking awesome. So good. Haze, Westies. They had a sick beer gun. They had 2 different ones. We went to the kind of one because okay, I'll be honest, like Oakland was pretty sketch. We were like, I don't really want to be here right now. This is like it doesn't feel, we got this little dog. We look very obvious. I'm like, yeah, let's maybe not. They have, apparently West Oakland was even worse than downtown Oakland, and that's where the main brewery was there. So we were like, let's go to the other one. So we ended up hanging out. It was great. Sat on this like shared tables with these other folks who were from the area, and they were awesome. We chatted with them the whole time. That was super fun. Like, had a great time. Had some good food and beer. So that was really cool. Yeah, that was really dope.
Before you move on, just in terms of strategizing our lineup here, because we're at about 44 minutes.
Okay.
Where are you in your in your Cali story? Like how much you got left? Do you reckon?
One place, and then that's it, which is
okay. All right. Okay.
That I can think of. Okay. If I forget anything,
Continue.
And then we can move on. Yeah, I was real. As you said it, I just looked. I'm like, yeah, I am rambling. But this is the more beer.
No, it's good. This is a good story. Just want to make sure that we fit everything in.
Yes. No, we will. Good. I appreciate you checking that. So then the last spot we ended up having, I don't believe I went anywhere else. Oh, there was another Humble Sea we stumbled into on the pier. There's like a Pier 49 or something where all the seals are. There was
so when you say Humble Sea, is that like Humble SEA?
SEA. Sorry, I should have said that. SEA. Yep. SEA.
Okay.
So there was a satellite tap room. The main one was where we went in Santa Cruz. This was another one. We just popped in there for a quick one. That was pretty dope as well because it's on the water, like on this pier. But the pier is massive. It's like 2-story shops and restaurants and stuff, and it, street performers, everything. It doesn't feel like you're on a pier. It's kind of bonkers.
Right.
Like in the same areas like Alcatraz and everything. Yeah, we did a nice little what do you call it? bay cruise thing, like sunset bay cruise, which was cool. Getting Barrington with the Golden Gate Bridge and all that stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Very cute. We got some pretty cool. We got lots of good shots. His account, Instagram's about to be popping. It's crazy. He's fucking content out, particularly with the Europe shit. So then we were ready to go, packing up, and then the next morning we got a thing from Air Canada saying that like basically we were supposed to go to. It was annoying, but on the way back it wasn't direct. It was through Edmonton. And then they were like, oh, it's a delayed flight. And the delayed flight meant we would land after the connection left. So therefore, we would have been stuck in Edmonton. And we were like, okay, that's not good. So they gave the earliest one was like the next day, direct flight. So then we had to stay again. And we had to stay in that hotel. We got a good deal for that. For the 3 nights we stayed there. It was a pretty nice hotel, but we got a good deal. For 1 night on a Sunday night, I believe, it was $1,000 Canadian. And we tried to claim it, and they denied our claim. They denied the because they made us stay. I didn't want to stay, but otherwise we would have had to sleep in the airport or something. There was no solution for Edmonton. It was actually ridiculous. They wouldn't give you anything. So I was like, this is why I drive everywhere. Yeah, we were pretty pissed. So we still got to go through travel insurance, I think, is the next one. We've just been obviously pretty busy. So then that next day, we're like, okay, well, the upside, bonus day in San Francisco, beautiful day, bright blue sky, everything was awesome. So we went to the Mission District, which is the area we wanted to stay in, but we just couldn't get in place. And there was a brewery called Cellar Maker, which I went to in 2019. So Cellar Maker, it's like House of Pizza. They do all this pizza and stuff. So I had a bunch of beers there. I got some bottles. So Cellar Maker recently bought Rare Barrel. So I got to have some Rare Barrel because they didn't have it on tap, but they had bottles, which was very, very cool. And I got some of their barley wines and stuff. So very impressed with all their shit. So that was where California ended. Then we flew back, and then we had like 10 days before we went on our next trip. Hence why we've essentially been away for 3 months. Anyway, Cali, amazing. Couldn't say enough for the beer. Everything was fantastic. It was better than I even thought it was going to be. And the scenery, it was, like I said, nonstop mountains. Everything was beautiful. Food was great. People were lovely. Just an A1 experience, except for the stupid flight. But then that gave us a bonus day. So kind of, net positive. So basically no notes. Cali, genuinely fantastic. Really, really dope.
There you go. Glad to hear
California. Yeah, man. So I guess I should probably go next one as well. We've been yapping.
And like,
I've been yapping.
like this Dos Equis, I've completely drained.
That's good.
I actually didn't mind starting with this one because it was hot as fuck today. Like it was.
Yeah, it was a stinker, huh?
Oh yeah, it was like 30 degrees in Ottawa, and like just blaring sun like for most of the day. So to have a light Mexican lager with some lime in it was super refreshing. That I drained that like probably about halfway through your California story.
I apologize. Hey, look, I barely.
Don't apologize. Like it was actually a perfect one to start with for exactly that reason.
I'm glad.
So next beer for me, staying on the Mexico theme, because that was the first half of my travels, and the other beer that that I drank was while I was in Mexico was Tecate.
Yes. Okay. So they were the 2 options at the hotel.
Yes, that's right.
So
I should clarify, like some of the spots in the hotel also had the Dos Equis Amber. And they also had they also had Tecate Light. So technically there were 4 options, but yeah, as far as beer went, that was about it.
Okay. So then when what I was saying to you sort of in the beginning there was that, like I said, was a beer I'm going to be having soon that someone was saying to me that, oh, I've had it since I've been back and it's just not the same as when you're there. Having a Tecate in a Mexican hotel, by the pool, with palm trees, by the beach, all of that. Same as Dos Equis. Are you feeling now? Because this is not like you said earlier and succinctly said that these are beers that would not typically be on this podcast. How do you feel having them here? Does it like, oh, this is fucking garbage? But when you're there, it's going down like water.
I had a second lime slice because I had to do it right.
You had to do it. Hey, if you're gonna do it,
yeah, man. And I wonder how many times a lime slice has been on that has been on the Gather lager
gather
glass.
glass. Oh, I can't imagine that many times.
Probably not. So, I mean, it does feel a little bit out of place to be drinking a Dos Equis or a Tecate sitting in my basement at almost 9 o'clock at night. Not quite the same vibe as having it on the beach in 32 degree heat with with high humidity in the middle of the afternoon. But that said, like I was saying, it was a really, really hot day today, and a light Mexican lager with lime is very refreshing. So after a hot day like it was today, I actually truly did not mind drinking this Dos Equis at first here. But yes, to that aside, overall the experience of it really fits perfectly when, if you're out in 30-degree heat, blaring sun, fairly high humidity, and it really does feel like you can crush them like water, just kind of with how light they are on the palate, and adding in a lime in there, just making it really extra refreshing. It goes down so well.
I can only imagine at that for that. Okay, good to know, because I'm going to see if I feel the same with a few of these other beers that I have here. So itchy today. So this is giving away my next place, but I kind of did say it earlier. So this beer, I haven't had this beer in quite some time. Innis and Gunn. When's the last time I had it? 2014. This is a Caribbean rum cask. I believe it's an amber. It's a ruby red beer, 6.8%. So it's a bit punchy. Probably what do you call it? Are they like fucking oak aged type shit? Yeah, Caribbean rum cask. So yeah, okay, like basically barrel aged lagers.
I think basically everything from Innis and Gunn is oak aged in some form.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I had this, so I was like, all right, I'll be talking about the UK, and also this is from Scotland, right?
Yeah, it would be from Scotland for sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, sorry, you're right, from Edinburgh. So I will be talking about all of the United Kingdom in my next segment. So that is hence why I'm doing that. So please, Mexico, talk to me.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't have a ton else to talk about on the beer side because because we were on the resort the entire time, and before anyone is rushing to their keyboard to hit the comments and say you should have hit this brewery out in Playa del Carmen or something like that. I do know that those places that it does exist in Mexico, that they do have small local breweries, and I would have loved to have gotten off resort to hit those. However, I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and she was not even yet 1-year-old when when we went on this trip in late June, early July. And for anyone with kids will know, those are the kinds of things that you're really opting for simplicity in your vacations, and that's why we went to an all-inclusive resort in Mexico for our summer vacation, is that we really just needed things to be simple. So I was not getting off resort this time, not it's not really like me and my wife to kind of go to the same place repeatedly for vacation, because as you well know, we're avid travelers. We like to we like to see new places and get out and experience the culture and everything like that. But when you're traveling with kids, particularly kids as young as mine, and as anyone with young kids will know, that kind of shit is a bit different, and you kind of save those experiences for a different kind of trip. So what we needed in this case was just somewhere where we could enjoy the beach, enjoy the pool, enjoy getting drinks whenever we want it, enjoy the food, not have to clean, not have to spend any time washing dishes or traveling around. Once we got on resort, we've kind of done all the work we need to do, other than just taking care of the kids, making sure they're having a good time, making sure we're having a good time.
What area?
So we were in Cancun, and specifically Playa Mujeres, which is Yeah. Which is about a 45-minute-ish drive from the Cancun airport.
Nice.
Really, really gorgeous stretch of beach. It's it's an area that we've been to before, and the resort that we were staying at, this was our third time there. Again, very out of character for us to just go back to the same place, but it's one of those things of when you find a place that works with the kids, you kind of don't mess with it.
Yeah, I guess that's the nature of children. They want to go to the same playgrounds all the time and watch the same movies over and over. So makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not even that, because with with the my kids are still pretty young, and they're too young to go to anything on their own. But it's more just, we know that the pool is a good family friendly vibe. That there's they've got the kind of the right things that can entertain them for the right amount of time, and we know that when we need to be back in the room for nap time, it's the rooms are good that we can have them nap, and we can be out on the balcony enjoying a drink, reading a book, and and all of that, and still be enjoying ourselves while traveling with kids. It kind of checked all of those boxes, so then it's a case of we're not going to risk it trying something else because it checked all the boxes for us. So while our kids are this young, we're going to kind of keep on going with what works when we're looking for that kind of vacation.
Understood. How do you guys feel about that? Obviously, you don't have a choice, right? So I understand that part. But as the traveler in you, is it frustrating, or are you just kind of like, I don't know, I don't care, I'm chilling in Mexico, bro, whatever?
No, it's not. It's not frustrating because
good.
We do still find ways to scratch that itch.
Okay.
That as you'll remember, just a couple of years ago, we were before my daughter was born, when we just had my son, we were able to leave him with my parents, and we went to Barcelona for a week. So just the two of us. So we don't travel we don't do trips like that as often as we used to, but we do still find ways to scratch that itch. So it's more a case of when this is the kind of vacation that is in the cards, we're just going to fucking enjoy it. Yeah. So for me, it was a case of, you know what? It's I'm out here on the hot beach, or we're chilling by the pool. You know what? I'm going to enjoy this Dos Equis or this Tecate light, in the hot sun, and it's going to be refreshing and kind of fucking delicious. Nice. And then anyone who was watching my stories at the time, while I was there, will know that I also packed myself a few goodies to enjoy in the evening once the kids were in bed. So I did bring some of my home stash of cans of Ontario and Quebec beer for after the kids were asleep, and I could enjoy that in the hotel room.
You did that right. I appreciated that you did that. I did that when I went to Jamaica in 2019. I was like, there's no fucking way, because I've basically just got red stripe. So
yep.
At least you got Tecate light and then amber Dos Equis. So bringing the own stuff was absolutely imperative to that type of trip, I think.
Oh, and that reminds me, something we should give a shout out to, because you got to enjoy this too, on your travels this time.
Oh shit! I mean, I don't even know what he's talking about, guys. I'm excited.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I do. I actually have no idea.
For traveling,
shit. Yes. I'll let you talk about this. You changed my whole trip with this. I got him in between Cali, because Cali was so rough for me. I was like, dude, what's that fucking cup that you have all the time? Because at first when you started posting it, I'm like, are you bringing glassware on these trips? You're like, no, it's these plastic cups that are not poison and be all that stuff. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I went to, please tell us about them.
Yes. So they're called B cups. I think it's just for the shape of of the bottom, but they are plastic beer cups.
Can you pull it out to show the shape? It's so good.
Yes. So this is the shape here. Like you could kind of it looks like an IPA glass.
It looks so good. Whatever style you put in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's so if you want to, it's one of those things of if you're not taking pictures of it, like most people won't care if their hotel glassware is just like a shitty fucking tumbler or a plastic, like one of the plastic wrapped glasses that they leave in the bathroom or whatever shit like that. But like it looks horrible if you're trying to take pictures in it. And so that's what drew me to this. And I had seen them before on other people's Instagrams, but they had kind of died off for a little while. I know a lot of people have them for camping and things like that, which I could see it being perfect for. Yeah. But like I was saying, it's a plastic glass. So like even has a bit of give there.
Yeah. So like it doesn't crack. It's durable as fuck.
It's durable. It doesn't crack. It's light and beer looks great in it. So it's so much better for it's so much better if you want to take any kind of pictures with your beer while you're traveling. So because it's so you don't have to stress about throwing it in your suitcase. Doesn't matter if your suitcase gets battered around at the airport or whatnot, this will be fine. And then just shove one of those in your suitcase and you and then you're all set for your entire trip. So
I brought two because they fit into each other, and I just wrap it in shorts or pants or something, and just in case Tiff, because I like to have a glass of sparkling water and then the beer glass, so I can have one with sparkling water and one beer, or I can let Tiff use the other glass if she wants it for whatever she's drinking. So I found, but then you put them in, super roll up, took no space. Does it, like you said, they got a bit of give, just enough. But it's very hardy and durable, so it doesn't. Nothing that I could see was going to crack it. They don't seem to get scratched very easy. Easy to hand wash. I just hand wash them, paper towel or whatever, tissue, dry it up, boom, boom. It was the best thing because I remember being mad frustrated in California that I asked you again because you told me in the past. So then I ordered them, and they are on Amazon, and you can get them directly from the manufacturer as well, which is great.
So it wasn't direct from the manufacturer that we did. There was some
or just a resale.
I think it's called Hoppy. I think it's called Hoppy.ca. It's like a hop distributor in Quebec that I found that sold them.
Which was perfect.
I want to say it was Hoppy.ca, and I want to double check so
people can shout them out. I'd love to even get them on the pod to hear about how they came up with that, what that story is, because
but they're not the manufacturer. They just I meant
the
sell it. It's one of their
totally.
Yeah. You meant the manufacturer of B cups, and that was a thing of because we were talking about this, and I was trying to see if they had an Instagram so that we could tag them. But if I searched for B cups, all I was getting was bra companies. So it appears they don't have an Instagram. But yes, if you're looking for somewhere not Amazon to buy them, looking for a Canadian company, Hoppy.ca, that's Hoppy, Hoppy.ca. It's a Quebec company that they're just like a hops distributor that also happens to sell these glasses. You can get a pack of 4 for $20, which is fucking great.
Such a good price. And it just
that's not an ad. We just fucking that's not an ad. It's just this has actually been really great for both of our travels. For guys who take lots of pictures of their beer and who get really pissed off at having to use shitty hotel glassware. It's pretty brilliant.
100%. And do you know what the other bonus is? Not say if you're pouring it crispy and sometimes they have these shallow glasses or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But if you're having a beer, it fits a full 16 ounces. It doesn't look it, but it fits a 16-ounce can. Yeah. So if I'm pouring this Crowns and Hops Hazy IPA, I can do my usual swirl the yeast, pour it in, and it's gonna be able to hold the whole beer, including a head. It's genuinely and it looks great in the photos to the point where people aren't you talked about the plastic hotel cups. Let's not even talk about the paper ones that are the coffee cups. That's even worse. And they're 8 ounces or 10 ounces at best. So you got to do multiple pours. You can't see the beer. Everything about, and even though they go down at the bottom, they're super easy to clean. I always make sure I rinse them out. Maybe I'm on top of it, but everything about them absolutely phenomenal. One of the most, probably one of the best craft beer travel hacks I think that I've personally seen. So thank you. I'm glad you brought that up because it truly made a difference because I was away for so long.
Yeah.
I had them with me at all times, Australia, Thailand, fucking everywhere. Like, all across Europe. It was extraordinarily beneficial.
Yeah.
Hugely.
Oh, God,
Good
fucking
shout
love.
out.
I fucking love those glasses.
Mexico.
Yes. So back to Mexico. Again, like just would have loved to get out to like to have something that was not Dos Equis or Tecate, but you know what? That's going to be for another stage of of my life.
Well,
but that's okay.
What you got to do for the
exactly.
I actually had a quick question for you on that.
Yeah, hit me.
So over and above the beer at a resort, because I'm asking you because I had a discovery that you may have seen me post about as far as a non-beer beverage that I am now enamored with. Did you have was there like a cocktail or just a non-beer beverage that you ended up when you were sick of Tecate Light or whatever? Was there something that you're like, fucking give me one of those? Let's rock that, and you're loving it.
Not a huge go-to. It kind of depended on the food that I was having at the time, because it was a case of if I was out and about at the pool, I was almost always just having a beer. It's one of those resorts that has like 9 different restaurants of different styles, so it kind of depended on the food that I was having. So bored. Yeah, like if I was at the steakhouse or the Italian restaurant, I was usually having a glass of wine. Nice. However, at the and I don't really do a whole lot of cocktails, but but here is where I dabble a little bit, and I'm also not that big a tequila guy, certainly not at home. But again, when on vacation in Mexico is when I'll experiment a little bit. So. Nice. So at the Mexican restaurant, that's where if I was going there, that's when I'd be trying a spicy margarita, nice. And just dabbling in the variations of that a little bit. And sometimes they'll have these little kind of bar stands outside the restaurant with a with a guy doing kind of like a mixology sort of thing, asking you a bunch of questions about what kind of things you like, and making like a custom cocktail for you. So that's cool. So that would be the sort of thing that I'd usually end up getting in situations like that. And my wife was getting like mezcalitas and things like that, which were not really my vibe, but she loved them.
Nice. Was this something like kind of out? Because obviously, if you're going to drink at home, you're going to drink beer 99.9% of the time. Was it like kind of nice to just be like, you know what, fuck this, I want a glass of wine? Was that kind of like nice for a change?
It is nice for a change, yeah, because it's one of those cases of I'm certainly feeling. Not like I have to try the beer. I mean, not that you ever have to drink, but when the beer choices are the same as anything I can get at the beach or whatnot, that then it's certainly more like, well, I might as well try something else. And there is something kind of freeing in that. Because it's kind of forced. I don't need to take a picture of anything. I can actually just get whatever I want. So it is sometimes kind of nice. And there are some foods that that wine does just go better with than a Dos Equis amber or something like that. When I'm at the steakhouse and having quite a nice steak, a glass of red wine is going to go better with that.
All day, every day. Yeah, man. Sometimes you need to be put, as beer nerds who document our journey, sometimes you just need to be forced to get out of your typical pattern, and that is a perfect example of that. And then like you said, there's something freeing. It's I don't have, if I want to, I would still take a photo and post it on stories, but not like anything crazy, just a quick little portrait mode, boom boom, hey, I'm drinking this glass of wine or this cocktail.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because for content. But then if I didn't do that, I didn't always do it. Sometimes I'm like, don't really want to right now. Or if I want to, like, if we're at a winery, I want to shout out the winery or something like that, then I would, for sure. But yeah, I like that. I think it's sort of, yeah, it's nice for a change, but the hard part is that it's harder because there's almost like kind of FOMO if we're here, or like, well, I got all this stuff in the fridge and cellar. I can't go and really have that glass of wine right now because I've got all this beer that I'm just letting die if I don't drink. And then when you're out, you're like, oh, you got this opportunity because you're like, oh, I could try all this stuff. But if it's just the same shit, then it's like, yeah, finally. Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah. And I mean, that does happen at home sometimes too, because like, sometimes you end up like at a place that you didn't choose, like if it's for someone else's birthday or something like that. And right. And they chose a place that like, like maybe they have some like some beers or something like that, but if it's a local joint and what they have is something that you've had a million times before, that like then you're like yeah, you know what, like like maybe I can just enjoy like a glass of wine if they're a place that is more catered to wine like than beer. It's kind of nice to be in those situations sometimes.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, and it's it doesn't happen enough in my experience, and it's sort of nice to be able to be, and almost to do it, it sort of frees you up, and then maybe you be at home, you might be like, like let's try something different or whatever. Like if Tiff's got a bottle, Naomi's got a bottle, and you're like, give me a glass of that shit, fuck it,
Yep.
Just because. Okay, I love it. So anything else from Mexico, or that was it was
yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic vacation. And my daughter was thankfully at about the right age that she was like finally enjoying being in the pool.
Nice.
It had happened enough times that she was kind of comfortable with it and and down to chill, which can be stressful if that's not the case. The flights were a little more difficult than the first time that we had been on, when she was sleeping a little bit more easily, but you know what, we survived it. The food at this particular resort that we've gone to a couple of times now is phenomenal.
That's awesome.
It's like one of those cases of the same lunch place every time. Or no, sorry, not the same, but there was two lunch places, but the one that we liked was like outside with a view of the beach, and and I forget where I was going with this, but anyway, it was a fantastic vacation. And not the one that has the most crazy beer stories to go with it, but it still made for a bit of a funny experience, as I bought my first Dos Equis at the LCBO in when would the last time that have been? Like at least 15 years, maybe more.
And it'd have to have been if you've I think I would have been 2011. And I remember I got Dos Equis Amber from America. Me and Scott went to the States.
Yeah.
I think I got it from Buffalo or Detroit because I couldn't get it here in 2011. And I remember having it and being disappointed because I loved amber ales back then. I still do now, but you know what I'm saying.
You know what I have to say, though? Dos Equis still to this day has one of my favorite beer ad campaigns of all time. Which was you remember The Most Interesting Man in the World? Like that was that was fucking genius. I used to love those commercials.
They were parodied to no end, and I feel like it's planted Dos Equis as like one of the most memorable brands as far as beer or just any brands because of that ad. It
was pretty brilliant.
Yeah, they went fucking hard with it. I haven't had that shit in forever. I remember, I'd have to try it again, but I like it. Okay, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and also glad that you brought some good beer to balance everything out.
Oh yeah, had to.
Because you really do need to. I'm not a big when we do. I didn't never see our travels as vacation. It's always like doing stuff. I've never just really done the sit on the beach shit. Even when we went to Jamaica, it was for work. And I remember the first night I had in 2019. Like 3, 4, 5 red stripes because we're excited. We got there. Next day, just thumping headache. Just felt horrible. And thank fuck. I think I brought about half a case of my own shit and
Yeah.
it was awesome. I think I had beer 5,000 over there, and a bunch of the what's the one I took all the collab, the Orient. Oh my god, Bière de Vacances with L'Espace Public, which just came back out again, by the way. I gotta talk to Simo. So we have that one back out, but yeah. So
very appropriate one to bring on vacation with you.
It really was. It was money. So we got some sick photos of it, of the beer in Jamaica and stuff like that. So it was and One Love from Overhop for Patty.
Yeah.
Which was super cool. But anyway, yeah, it was so necessary to have your own stuff. So when I saw you bring that, I think the last time I saw you in Mexico as well, you were posting your own. So I was like, all right, you're not playing. You got some good shit.
You were like
taking care of yourself. Okay. Yeah, I was a little worried because you weren't posting the Tecates or the other stuff. But when you were posting it with Third Moon and Badlands and Counterpart and da, I'm like, all right, good.
Yeah,
he's okay. He's doing it. I'm worried about you.
It's like Nate's gonna be okay when he comes back.
Yeah, because it's I mean, worst case, you just suffer a bit while you're there, or you just get off beer completely. That's why I was asking. If you didn't bring stuff, even if you just got one little nice craft beer to end the night, like, that's kind of cool. Rather than, because you've been drinking other stuff all day. It's like, let me just have something really good just to bring it home,
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, amazing. Shall I don't know if you want to crack anything else, because the beer that I cracked is about my next part.
You may as well just go into it. I'll probably hold off a little bit just so that I don't go too far ahead in my beers. I may just if at some point I'm getting antsy for the next one, I'll just crack it open partway through.
You can still show it on air as well, and like whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's not like a big spoiler. So okay, so like I was saying, you're in. So you went the end of June. So I came back from California. I think it was March, like I don't know, 18th or something, and then we left May, and I left May 30th. So I had it was about 10 days, I think, all up to do stuff. And we had to do all these things to get, once again, big story off air. It's not out of scope, but getting Barrington on the plane was it was a whole fucking thing. It took up so much time. Planning all of these trips took so much because everything happened so quick. We were starting to do things kind of last minute, and we're pretty organized people, particularly when it comes to travel. I don't like not knowing where I'm sleeping type shit. As I get into these stories, we were literally on the train going to a place and didn't have a place to stay that night type thing. Like, that's how hectic it was. It got towards the end. So we knew we were going to London. We're like, fuck, all right. Let's get all this stuff prepped, come back from California, wash all the stuff and then start, reassessing, repacking. We had to go to multiple temperature places. So we were going to basically, like I was saying, Innis and Gunn. So we went to the UK for that was the bulk of it. And then we were in other places and then had to go somewhere that was winter. So we needed too much stuff. So we ended up just having to bring so much stuff because you had to cater for 5-10 degrees plus 37 degrees. The whole thing, which was very annoying. I don't know about you, but my clothes are mad bulky, like my hoodies and pants and stuff. They just take up fucking space. Tiff stuff like folds down to this big, and my shit is still big. It's so annoying. So anyway, so we went to the UK. So basically, we had to fly into Paris, and we had to get a pet concierge. Once again, if anyone's ever interested, and I can share what we had to do. A pet concierge drives you from Charles de Gaulle in Paris to the Euro tunnel, which is now called Le Shuttle because France operates it. And then you go in a car on a train under the English Channel, and then they drive you to your hotel in London because you can't fly into the UK with a dog since Brexit. They kind of ruined everything. So the UK was the most complicated part. EU, very easy. You still have a bunch of paperwork and government shit you have to do here. It's very doable. So if anyone is curious about how that's done, I can share that. So obviously this trip was the first week we stayed in Westminster was for a conference for Meta again. So we stayed near Big Ben and all that sort of stuff. So everything we did was not focused around beer. The craziest shit that happened, you know about this because I told you we were there. So the second day, we got there like a Sunday evening. Then on the Tuesday, we went to my girlfriend Tiffany, or most of her, basically almost everyone in her entire family is in either Jamaica or London. Very convenient. So most people in London. So it was great because I got to meet a bunch of the family that I've been speaking to on FaceTime and stuff for like 15 years, and then get to see them in person. It was really, really nice. To be honest.
That's great.
Genuinely phenomenal. That was probably my favorite part of the whole thing. The family is the best. We were in this area called the Borough Market, which is just a sick market. Lots of markets over there, but by the Thames. And I was looking at this cafe. I was like, oh, do I want to go here? I was checking. Then a guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, man. And it was Alex from Melon. The chances of seeing this fucking guy, I speak to him pretty regularly, and he's always in Toronto at True History or something at a time I can't go. And he's like, we can never meet up in Montreal or Toronto, but we're here in London, and I bump into you in the street. So I had a chat with him, and he was there with his homie, who's the taproom manager. I do forget the dude's name. I apologize. So that was crazy. So I was asking him. They were going to. It was called Welcome to the Neighborhood. It's a Track Brewing in Manchester. They had a festival, and they do it themed by country. So they had Welcome to the Neighborhood Canada. So everybody we know went out there. Troy from Badlands, the Moon Boys, and Ketch.
And sorry to interrupt, but like Trek, a lot of folks in Ontario and Quebec would probably recognize from a bunch of collabs that they've done with breweries here. They've definitely shown up a lot over Quebec. Like we've definitely seen Messorem, Bas Canada, probably Third Moon, Ketch, a bunch of others have all done collabs with Trek.
Correct. And I think that's why they did this. So they have been really smart and really getting in with the best of the best, particularly in Ontario and Quebec, and then bringing them all over from there. So Alex they were just chilling in London. So he told me about a place called The Stranded on the Strand, which is basically, because I was asking him, when in England, I was trying to get out of my haze mindset, which is what I would be if I'm in North America. I'm like, all right, I'm in England. I want cask beers and I want whatever's fucking popping there, but I also want Czech beers that haven't been on a boat. I want them fresher than what we get here. So he was like, I went to this place called The Stranded, and they do all Budvar, and he said it was amazing. Like, boom. So that was the first place. And all this is really fresh because today, like about 30 minutes before we started recording, I finished editing the UK vlog, which will come out tomorrow our time. So by the time everybody sees this, it'll already be out. So everything's pretty fresh. So I went to this place. It was fucking amazing. Just they have proper Czech service, the mugs in the water, all Luca taps, all these different type of Budvars. Had the dark. They had one called Nefilter, which I think was like a 4%, slightly lighter version. They had the non-alc version, Mliko, whole shit. And they got this, like, there was this Chinese restaurant pop-up in there, like this one that's sort of been around, that was phenomenal. It was just one of the best experiences of the entire trip. I loved it so much. It was so fucking good. I think we were there for maybe an hour and a half just crushing beer. It was so good. So that was amazing. The UK, we went to a lot of pubs and wasn't specifically searching out beer for the first part. I was drinking a lot of supermarket stuff and just whatever you can get. They had some of the bought out beers like Beavertown and shit. Sometimes they have Northern Monk, but they were like shelfies, like they weren't the best. They have some European. They never had Pilsner Urquell anywhere, but they would have Staropramen and I have never had more Moretti in my life. Like, and I want to spoiler alert, I went to Italy for 11 days. I don't even know if I had a single Moretti there, but
oh, really? So you had most of that in the UK?
Constantly, every restaurant.
Wow.
Sometimes you just go to places they didn't have anything else but Moretti. It was crazy.
Wild. So
like the supermarket beers were cool, and it was just like London is so big and so difficult to get around. It was really difficult to get good beer all the time. So you really had to go out of your way. And sometimes you'd be somewhere, it's like over an hour to get somewhere, whether you go the tube or whatever the fuck. It was just like, it's a bit of a whole thing. Also, I never been to Europe in the summer. I don't ever been in the winter. The air conditioning thing, it's wrong, dude. There was the first part of being in England and Scotland and stuff, it was brick. It was like 10 to 15 degrees and raining and horrible. I was wearing a jacket and hoodie every day. Then when it got hot, fuck, man, there's no respite. Every hallway is 37 degrees. Like, you go into every hotel, Airbnb, Tiff's grandma's house where we stayed, everywhere. It was just in the 30s.
You just bake.
just bake. My fingers are swollen up, and the beds are all double beds there. There's no big fucking beds. So I'm like, Barrington's on the bed, and like it's too close, and they're all hard. They're all rock solid. So trying to, God, it was rough. The first part was really rough. And the European beds are just like sleeping on the floor. Like everything, you can't sleep on your side because then you end up getting sore shoulders. So we had to always book hotels afterwards with like air conditioning was so important. And a lot of places didn't have elevators either. It was just, anyway, yeah, the UK was a little rough for me in the beginning. I was getting a lot of allergies. No respite. At least in North America, if it's hot, you're going to walk into any cafe, restaurant, hotel lobby, fucking just go into a building, store, air conditioning. Thank God.
Blast you right in the face.
Pause. None of that. Absolutely no face blasting. All I wanted was to be blasted in the face. No one was blasting, Nate. It was just so rough. So that was really, really difficult in the beginning. So yeah, that kind of sucked, unfortunately. But that beer bar,
I had a small because I have been to Europe in the summer, mind you. That was in the summer of 2009. So even like, and I remember noting that back at the time, like with the lack of air conditioning. So add on that 17 years like of climate change to like to what we've got today, and you've got it even worse.
That's what we were saying too. So it was exactly that. I hadn't been since 2004. So I was, all of this was all new to me. And I went in like November through January. So like I didn't get any summer, and I was like, everything's fine because everything's just warm. Like, but as soon as you need it to be cool, oof, yeah. And then climate change too. So who fucking knows? It was pretty rough. So lots of pubs. The pub culture there, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Food was always great. Some of these pubs were so classy. Like some of them were a little more grimy, like pub that you'd expect, but some of them were just incredibly classy. I really enjoyed the fish and chips because Australia has their own type of fish and chips, obviously a derivative of the UK one. Loved it though. Drank a bunch of cask beers. Really enjoyed the cask beers. Sometimes it was cold, sometimes it was warm. I just enjoy. A lot of them are like 3 to 4%. Almost every beer I had. I think that's why I lost 5 pounds after 2 months. I came back lighter. I think because none of the beers were really over 5%. There was hardly any haze. I ate pizza and pasta all through Italy. And olive oil, nothing. And I think it's just from basically no haze and from beer that wasn't very high in alcohol.
Yeah, because you're not drinking the things that are on average 6.5 to 8.5%.
Exactly. I think that made a massive difference. And now my tolerance is piss weak. I'm falling asleep before midnight all the time now. I can't seem to adjust, which is fine because I'm keeping it up, getting up a bit earlier. But I can't drink much. Like I'm absolutely like I gotta take it easy tonight because I got 6 beers to get through. So
and you're and you've got an innocent gun on your second.
Yeah, and so it's both of them are 6.8, I think, for both of these first 2 beers each. For fuck's sake, terrible.
We got to get you moving through those, by the way, because we're at almost an hour and a half here.
I know. It's just because like this was the UK beer. I can crack the next one for the next country ahead of time if we want. I don't mind doing that and then keep talking.
You might as well just to make sure you keep your beers moving.
Okay, so I can do I'll just crack the beer.
Yeah, just keep talking.
And keep talking. So I'll zip through this as quick as I can. So Dan, Tip's cousin Dan, who lives and works here, he's been on the pod and on the stuff. His parents, he's from an area called Milton Keynes, which is about on the train like 30-40 minutes north of London. So I went up there to hang out with his parents. They took us to a pub out there that was dope. That happened to be right next to this cool cafe that I found that Dan didn't even know about. So that was really cool. We went to Dan's dad's favorite brewery called the Blackened Sun out there. That was cool. His mate owns it. And then we went, which is another industrial. So that felt at home for me, like super normal. And then another place which was sick called the MK, like Milton Keynes Beer Garden. And it was just like a beer bar. And there was the first, this was like a week or so in, and it was the first place, massive fridge. They had Verdant and Track and all the stuff. So I got all the Track stuff. That's I got all the Verdant stuff. Verdant and Track did all these collabs. So I got all of them from there, a bunch of other stuff. Wicked. Tried Vault City for the first time, which I'll get to. They're the sour brewery from Edinburgh. So that was really cool. Lots of beer bars with fridges. So that's the shit we don't have in Canada. It's almost like Bar Volo with tap room, but they're separated because Canada doesn't fucking let you do that. In America, in UK, Europe, Australia, everywhere. That was probably the most common thing that I did across 2 months was go to those type of places. And it's such a shame. Like it's like Durand, but Durand's thing is in another room. It can't be in the same place. It's so silly. What else did we do in London? Okay, so different beer. There's one place called Ghost Whale that I went to, which I just saw that Meso did a tap takeover in tonight. They have about 3 or 4 locations. So because I saw Marc Andre, he messaged me because I was in Positano, and he was like, "I'm going to be there in 2 weeks." And then I guess that's why he's doing a tap takeover there. So I went to the Brixton one. He was in the Putney one. That place was fucking awesome. They had Third Moon. Super cool to see that there. They had some. It was like 15 pounds, I think, for a can of the Porto or something like that.
Holy shit!
Dead Don't Die, whatever, which is like $30. And I messaged Chris and Bebo, and I was like, I in the chat with you, I think.
Oh yes, that's right, you did.
To tell them that, so that was fucking crazy. But that place was sick. So I started to get that place allowed me to get a bit more of an idea of who the UK haze lords are: Beak, Daya, Two Flints, obviously Track and Verdant,
Cloudwater still.
Cloudwater, which I'll get to because I actually got to go there. I didn't buy any of their stuff because I knew they were there, so I went to the spot. Those were the main ones. So that place was really cool. Where else did I go? Then we went to Scotland. So we went to Edinburgh and Glasgow. In Edinburgh, there was this place as soon as you leave the station called Brewhemia. Sorry, I'm going to drink this now. This is a German because I went to Germany. So I'm going to talk about that. Hofbräuhaus Dunkel. I saw it in LCBO. I was like, fuck yeah. That's a big fave of ours. Oktoberfest coming up. Ooh.
Can't
Brewhemia,
wait.
right across from the train station. So we went and we met her cousin and which is Dan's older brother and his missus. They're the best and their pop. So we all hung out together there. This place had all those tank beers. So the tanks are hanging in the ceiling, and basically they get, instead of having kegs, they pump through this copper tank. I'd seen them in Australia. So they had Innis and Gunn, they had Budvar, they had a bunch of different ones, and it was fucking insane. Like right across the station, I loved it so much. It was so fire. In Edinburgh, I went to Vault City. So that was they're the big sour brewery. They're like the biggest hype sour brewery in all of the UK. Been on their email list for 4 or 5 years and never tried their beers, and finally got to try them, and it was fantastic. So we went to, they got this place called the Wee Vault. The little vault in Edinburgh.
Pause just 1 second. That pour looks fucking fantastic.
Isn't that glorious?
God, that looks so good.
Got that nice little. It's actually a Czech glass. It's probably the wrong one for it, but whatever.
Oh well.
What are you gonna do? I'm pretty sure tell me I've had this because I don't want to have to do another review. I couldn't be fucked.
You're gonna go to glassware jail is what's gonna happen.
Some people get mad about it, Nate. Some people.
I know. I know.
Dunkel. Okay. Yes, of course. Okay, I have had it. Thank God. So we did that. Wee Vault was super cool, super small. Like the whole thing is as small as my kitchen. But very, very dope. All of their stuff they do, like not as much smoothies as I kind of thought, to be honest. They do like fruited sours. They had, you know what Iron Brew is? If you can hear me. Do you know what Iron Brew is?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Oh, Iron Brew. Yes. No. Sorry. I've heard of it.
Yes. Okay. So it's just like it tastes like cream soda. It's like the famous Scottish soft drink soda, whatever.
Yep.
They did like a series of Iron Brew beers, so I grabbed all of them. It was awesome. They do like a normal one, a blue. I can't remember what the blue one was. Extra caffeine or something. Like literally, it was blue. My tongue turned blue. It was pretty cool.
Oh shit. Okay.
Kind
of like Third Moon soda beers or whatever.
Basically, yep, same type of thing. So they did those. They're a little like sour, or whatever. So that was super cool. Elsewhere in Edinburgh, we went to. We were walking to Edinburgh. Have you been?
I have not been to Edinburgh. No.
Okay, so there's the famous part of Edinburgh. It's like it's all like a medieval city. It's absolutely stunning. I'd been there 20 years ago. So I was very excited to get back and show Tiff. It was our first real taste of like that Europe, like fucking castles and shit. And they have a big castle called the Edinburgh Castle, middle of the city. So we're walking down there's this like street that's I think it's called Victoria Street. It's this curved street, really beautiful shops that are all like colorful and stuff. And we're just like wandering in that area, and we saw this place said like cold brew house, and it looked like an old church, and it was literally on the bottom of the hill, and you're looking up next to the castle. I'm like, there's a brewery. I'm like, all right. So I looked it up. I'm like, yeah, it looks okay. I'm like, let's just go in for a sec because I don't want to go in here if it sucks, because it's really in the touristy kind of area. And we went in. I was like, this looks pretty normal and pretty cool. Like, all right, cool. Tiff, go get a table. I'm gonna do the intro. So did the vlog, went upstairs. So they got a rooftop, and the rooftop is like, it's a glass. So I guess when it's a shitty day, because it's Scotland, every day was like 12 degrees and raining, fuck. And it was like open, and you could just see the castle right through it. It was fucking awesome. It was so cool. We ended up getting a table and had a couple beers there. They had like a nitro XPA, some little like snacks and shit. So that was like a bonus. Like, and I'd seen a bunch of people that I knew, I forget who it is now, were following them on Instagram already. So they'd probably been and checked them out. So that was super cool. We also went to, there's this brewery that I found in that Milton Keynes beer garden called Otherworld, and their cans looked awesome, and they happened to be in Edinburgh. Went down there, I actually connected with the owner on Instagram. He wasn't available that day, but I went in, checked them out. They were sick. They had their own cask stuff that isn't like the new school cask, but they're in the UK. That was great. There's some of their haze, awesome. So I grabbed some shit to go. That was super. That was really cool. So that was Edinburgh. Glasgow was a little quieter. There was a brewery there called Shilling that was downtown, and that was pretty dope. They had their own beers that were out of big serving tanks, and they had the sickest shit. So it was a beer bar / brewery. They had like haggis pizza, so we get to have haggis pizza, which was super fun. I got allergies crazy. My nose is so fucking itchy. It's driving me crazy. So apologies if I keep touching it. And then they had, the sight glass in a brewery. So they had like all the taps. Yeah. And under those clear little cylinders with the beer, so you could see the color of the beer under each tap. So like there's like a wooden box and on each side of the bar, and they had these sight glasses. I was like, fuck, that's so cool. So that was super dope. The only other place we went to in Glasgow was a beer bar called In Deep, like INN, and it was kind of like this beautiful brick building by like a bridge and a river, and you went down like, I don't know, 4 flights of steps to the bar. It was all like cavernous, and then you could go outside, and you ended up in like the walkway by the river, and you kind of just turned, and then they had like their own patio that was kind of like somewhat connected to it. So it was really cool. They had a bunch of beer bars. It was owned by a brewery called like Williams Brothers or something. And the range was super cool. The bartenders were awesome. Like that place, we stayed there, had like 4 beers there. That was actually really nice because we got to really like kick it. Mostly went to like pubs and different places in Glasgow. End up going out. Okay, and this was really key to my Europe experience, and you might have seen me post about this. So that night, it was the World Cup that all started, and Tiff's cousin Darren, who we were there with, who's Dan's older brother, big soccer guy, huge Arsenal fan and stuff. So we went to, I can't remember, it was like the first night, Mexico and whoever played, I can't remember, fuck. And we went to, there were 2 Irish pubs or whatever, so with the word, one's called Molly Malone's and the other one was called like Malone's. And we went to the wrong one, where his missus and stuff were at the wrong one, because I didn't know. He was just taking us there. So we were trying to split the G, so I was doing that a bunch. So we're watching the game, drinking there, boom, boom, okay. And then we realized it was the wrong one because they weren't coming, and we went across the street and found them there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we had another couple drinks. Our other friends were there. And at the end of the night, Darren's like, all right, we've been drinking beer all day. Hey, we're going to have an Aperol Spritz. I'm like, cool. And he got me an Aperol Spritz. I was like, what the fuck? Have you had one?
No, I haven't. And my missus loves them, but I've never tried one.
Nathaniel, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm
changed my life.
Dude, I can't even express. I think it was also like, you're away, you're overseas, you're like, I don't even care about soccer or sport, period. But there's a vibe. You're in this bar, everyone's like chilling. It was pretty cool. And we've been drinking all day, and I was kind of just sick of beer. They actually had Tennent's at the Scottish beer on tank, and Darren hates Tennent's, as most people do, because it might as well be Molson Canadian. But I was like, yeah, honestly, the lady gave us a try. I was like, trust me, bro. Like, I had the worst beer in Australia on tank beer, and it's fucking awesome. And Tennent's on tank was fucking awesome. even after that, I was like, all right, I think I'm kind of tapped. And it was so refreshing. It was bitter. It was citrusy. You got like an orange slice in it. It's just like 3 parts Prosecco, 2 parts Aperol, 1 part soda water. That's all it is.
Okay.
So like 1 ounce of each type of thing, like 2 ounces, blah, blah, blah. And just phenomenal. So basically, since then, the whole trip, I was basically spritz hunting. It was there was the beer was mid. That's why I was asking you, did you find anything in Mexico? Because it was like if anything was mid, I was like, give me a fucking spritz. Just give me that shit right now. It was so perfect. Right. And we based all of the pricing of everywhere we went in Europe, however much the spritz was. That's how we knew if the place was a ripoff or not. Like we based on
okay.
Yeah. So okay, Scotland, that was dope. Back to London. We ended up going to Wales. So when we were there, Darren was like, we need to go to Cardiff. It's so sick. I'm like, cool, no problem. Let's go. So we ended up going to Cardiff. Easily the biggest surprise W of the trip. It was phenomenal. Have you been out there?
I have not been to Cardiff, no.
Absolutely phenomenal. It was so cool. The Welsh folks are so nice. It was just like such a different cultural experience because they got everything's in Welsh first, then English. So it's like Quebec with French and English, but Welsh, and they've got no vowels almost. So like, it was just really interesting. No one really spoke it, but it was so nice. The city was so beautiful. Spritzing it up on rooftops. You had no idea. There's a big castle in the city as well. Went to like a brewery there called Tiny Rebel. They had this deal where you got like 2 for 1. They were like lager cocktails or something. So we got that first, and then we had a beer after that. It wasn't the move at all. The beer was horrible after the lager cocktail because it's got all this extra fruity shit in it. It kind of fucks up your palate. So I didn't particularly enjoy it, but the place was cool. So at least got to go to a Welsh brewery. Went to a sick ass like jazz bar that had like a live jazz band playing and just like sick cocktails. It was so classy. It was so nice. That was fire. Dogs allowed everywhere. We brought our dogs everywhere we went. It was so nice. Cool. Where else we go? Back to London. Other things might be escaping me, but other things that were important. I found out about 2 different things they had there. I only went to one of them, but they have these things called beer miles. So there's the Bermondsey beer mile and the Black Horse beer mile. So the Bermondsey one's the one I went. I sent Steve from Southern Ontario Beer Boys, who I'll get to shortly as well, because we ended up meeting up. Basically, it's more than a mile. It's like 2 miles of just breweries and like this cideries, beer bars, restaurants, all this thing. It's essentially like a train tracks, and under the train tracks are these brick archways, and they've just made stores, shops, breweries, whatever the fuck in there. So sick. So we went to one called, the most British name ever, Anspach and Hob Day is the name of that one. I know, right? When I first saw it, I was like, what? Say that again. Yeah, phenomenal. Killer. They had Bellwoods there, which was very, very funny. Also the one in Scotland, Otherworld, they had Burdock in there.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Burdock as well. So I was like, and I messaged the dude, I was like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, we love Burdock there. We always get their stuff. I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay. The other one I skipped, sorry, on that note, because it reminded me, in Edinburgh, there's one called Fierce Beer. So I only went there for 1 or 2. Super cool. They had Henderson. So I messaged Aiden.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that.
The Rush beers.
Yeah, the Rush beers.
And they make the Rush beers there for them. I was like, what is happening here? It was I think on the vlog, I got like Canadian beer number 5. I think we had 5 different occasions. Because they also had Bellwoods at the same place that had Third Moon. Crazy. So the first one, Anspach, super sick. Cask ales, Crispies. They had some other stuff, but that was the main shit. Super cool. Wish I could have spent there longer. Spend more time there. Cloudwater down the street. So obviously they're from Manchester. This was their London thing. I had a Westie, phenomenal, and I was a little concerned because I had heard they'd gone mid. I had one called Hooked on Aotearoa, which is the New Zealand name for New Zealand. Fantastic. And Steve had the exact same one. I was like, all right, we're good. So I got to bought a t-shirt. I'm like, all right, good. All right, you're beautiful. Super cool. And then one down the street from there called The Kernel, Kernel. That's the one more than any other brewery in the UK that people had suggested to me. Fucking awesome. They do a lot of like American style, like IPAs, Westies and stuff. Crispies, porters, British style shit. We had the best dumplings we'd ever had. It was bone marrow and beef cheek dumplings.
Oof.
Bonkers. Absolutely.
That must have been insane.
Yeah, just crazy. It was so good. So that whole beer mile, and we did all of those three. They were all within 3 to 4 minute walk between each other, like in like 2 hours, 3 hours or something. Like we didn't have much time, but it was phenomenal. And there were so many other places, cideries and beer bars and other breweries, and we only just did one little portion of it. So that was phenomenal. There's another one called the Black Horse one. So this one was in an area called, they pronounce it Suffolk, but it's South Wark. You know how British words are weird. Right by the Thames. So it's by the river. It's super nice. So this other one called the Black Horse one is sort of north, like East London. So it was a little out of the way. I ran out of time. If I didn't go to Cardiff, we probably would have gone. But anyway, so that was sick. And then the only other thing, I found another beer bar on like the last day called Clapton Craft. And they have a bunch of them as well. Same deal. I found a bar I had to get my hair cut, and I was walking past in this area called Clapham Junction. I was like, what the fuck? This is sick. So I went there and it was great. Got a bunch of stuff. The other thing that I did was I ordered shit to Tiff's grandma's from Track and from Verdant. So Track, nice. I was messaging it, and you mentioned that Track had done collabs with Canada. Just to time it up for their Welcome to the Neighborhood stuff, they had done a collab with everyone. So the only collab I didn't get was Meso because it was a triple, which I probably should have just got anyway. But I got everything else. They did a collab with Melon. It was a rice lager. They did a collab with, Jesus Christ, Badlands probably. Oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting. I don't remember. I have to probably pull up my Instagram. But
I would bet probably Back Canada. I know they did one on the at least on the Back Canada side as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm just going to scan while I'm talking about it. But ordering from those places was super cool. I'd done it in the past when Tiff's mom had come to England and she'd brought some Verdant back for me, and I was able to do it then. I was really appreciative of that. That was super cool because I was like I was saying earlier, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, maybe like the UK is a little weird and they have to you've really got to go out of your way to get good beer. But I'm like, you know what? If you're in Toronto, if you're in Ottawa, if you're in Montreal, you've got to go to the breweries or a beer bar or a bottle shop or something, right? Like they're not just right in your face. So yeah. It's not like you do have to search stuff out. So it wasn't like, maybe it wasn't as difficult. It was just because I found that getting around London specifically was just so difficult and just challenging because it just took so long that it was just a little bit more difficult to get the good stuff. Here we go. Okay, so I did get the Verdant and Track stuff. There was like 3 different collabs. Then Fierce. What did I say? It was the Track ones. Oh, so these must be here. Okay, here we go. So that was the Melon Rice Lager. They did one with Willibald Westie called Two Pines. No.
Okay.
It's a New England, not a West, called Two Pines, but it's it's a New England. Okay. Bar Canada. You're right. They did a Westie with Bar Canada. That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
They did that. And they did one with Superflux. That was the other one. They did a double IPA with, was it a Trooper? No, it's a double, 8%. With Superflux. So that was super dope. Very, very impressed with that. And yeah, Verdant, always great as well. So UK beer as a whole, wasn't sure what to expect. I had tried some stuff in the past, but that was where I really did get a pretty decent fix of haze. Lots of cask beers. I feel like just across the board, I didn't feel like if I was like based in the UK, I didn't feel like cheated or like, man, like fuck, like I'm not getting good stuff. I'm struggling here. So overall, extraordinarily impressed. I think he's got to know where to go. And once I got the lay of the land with the different breweries, I knew what to sort of cop and sort of who to look for and where to go and stuff. And you're able to figure it out. So shout out UK, man. Absolutely phenomenal.
That's great.
I love it. You're up now, big dog.
Yes, I am up. I'm going to suggest that we have a quick pee break before I crack the next one, if that works for you.
Of course it does. It absolutely does. Folks,
all right,
we'll be right back. And we are back.
And we're back.
Now, Nathaniel.
Yes.
It is time to remain in Canada.
Yes.
For the first part of all of these conversations, actually.
That's right. Yes, because the second part of my summer vacation was spent in Rimouski, Quebec. That's this is one that we often end up doing in the summer is heading out to visit my in-laws for a good long stretch. This was the longest stretch that we've done out there in a while. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
was it 2 weeks?
A good week and a half, and
Nice.
like we're usually there for just kind of 1 week here or there, and we were able to stretch it out. And that's the other thing too, is that I'm on parental leave now, which is why we had 2 big trips so back to back. We wouldn't typically when both of us are working, but my wife and I timed our parental leave this time to overlap over the summer. So
smart.
that's why we were able to have 2 long trips back to back. But yeah, so we spent a good week and a half in Rimouski, Quebec, and during that time, I spent most of the beers that I was drinking there much more different than what I was drinking in Mexico. I was mostly drinking Ketch, Dock Canada, and Bad Bones were the majority of what I was drinking there. Mixing in a few Ontario stuff that I brought with me, but from what I was buying there and from where we were going, those were the main 3. So
I want to ask you on that. Oh yeah, show us the beer, then I'll ask. No, show us the beer, then I'll ask the questions.
So next beer that I've got is from Ketch. Okay, come on,
catch it, camera. Come on,
catch it, camera. Here we go.
Don't be a fucking.
Oh, here we go. Is it going to catch it or not?
I feel like it's getting most of it, but it's still a little.
Fuck me. Okay, here we go.
Close enough.
Yeah, I got it. You've got most of it, anyways.
Yeah.
So this is Dock 151 with. Oh, here we go. Finally.
There we go. Nice.
With with the Dock series fresh new branding, which I think looks pretty slick.
It's so cool.
Yeah. And the glassware too also got the refreshed branding. First of all, it's one of these tumblers which I fucking love.
That's sick.
And it's got the same seagulls that are on the cans with the new branding, which is just lovely. So Dock 151 hopped with Nectaron, Hop Keef, Rawaka, and Nelson.
Damn. It's
so what were you about to ask?
I was about to ask, where did you? So there's some killer stores out there that has all the good stuff.
Yes, and there's a couple of good stores. The best one might surprise you. The best one that's closest to my mother-in-law's place is actually the IGA.
Out there they kind of kill it though, right? Like the beer buyer must be on point.
Exactly. And the beer buyer at that particular IGA really, really knows his shit and takes the beer game very, very seriously. So
is that where she gets her Oval, or is that a different spot?
I have seen Oval there a couple of times. That is not the main spot that my mother-in-law grabs it from for me.
You don't have to put it on blast though. You don't have to, because if you don't want to blow up the spot, you know what I'm saying? Because it's
well, I actually don't know the name of it. It's I think it's actually like a co-op grocery store that you need to be a member of in order to get the Oval there. So that's where the fuck did my camera go? Did I move it while we were taking a piss?
Maybe you did.
Anyway, I guess I must have.
You can go find it. Do you want to pause for a sec to find it?
Let's
do
a quick pause, because this is going to bother me if I don't get this picture.
Let's find it. 1 sec, guys.
All right.
And the camera is located.
And there we are. Okay, got that sorted. Sorry for that.
Okay, no, people don't even know. Okay, so you got a separate spot for that stuff, but you have a nice IGA where you can get stuff. So that's why you were getting Bad Bones.
Yes, and and they've got a huge selection of Bad Bones there. Great selection of Back Canada, huge selection of Masorum. They've got some Nano Cinco. However, the stuff that they've had the last few times, the last couple of visits that I have has been pretty old. So I've not touched that. But most of the hype places that you can think of, they've got at least some variety of. Lots of Sir John too.
Are they all fresh?
No, they're not. That's the thing. Like the Ketch is always fresh there. Like the Bad Bones selections, the stuff was pretty fresh. Most of the stuff from
they got their hot burn keeps them going though, so I think they got a bit of legs.
They do have a bit of legs, but like I'm talking, they've got stuff between 1 and 2 months old, which is pretty good
risky
for
where it is, I guess, all things considered.
Yeah, exactly. But like the Ketch stuff, like they get their drops weekly, which is fucking amazing.
Right, and because the Ketch isn't like around the corner, it's like a bit of a 30-40 minute drive or something, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So for you, it's pretty convenient to be able to pop in locally and pick up that fire without, I mean, obviously you got to go to the Ketch. I saw that you were there and you were saying the new patio is killer that Guillaume was telling us about in the pod earlier this year.
Yes. And I will talk more about Bad Bones after because that's the next beer that I have. But so yeah, I'll keep talking about Le Ketch.
Please.
Yeah, that's one of those things I'm super grateful that they get the fresh stuff. Like, and I'm talking if they like once they've dropped it at Le Ketch, it's like 3 to 10 days before they've got it at the IGA, which is pretty fucking awesome. That they have it like the fresh stuff there that quickly.
That's really cool and relatively unheard of for I understand it's a small town and the Ketch happens to be the local brewery there. That also happens to be one of the best in the country, if not beyond. So like, it's, I guess, just a lot of fortunate things, but that's pretty cool. And that's like an attention to detail, probably from the Ketch team and the clued in beer buyer at the IGA, who obviously knows what's up.
Yeah, exactly. And Guillaume would obviously know all of the buyers in
the area.
In the area, like because I mean he actually lives in Rimouski as well, so he'd be he'd be making sure that that he's keeping the local scene stocked there as well.
Amazing.
That's how it's so easy for me to connect with him. And every time I'm at my mother-in-law's, because he lives like about a 10-minute drive from there.
Oh, that's amazing. Did you see him this trip?
I did not get to see him this trip because he was on vacation with his family for most of the time that I was there. So it didn't line up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, as you were saying, I did actually make it out to Saint-Flavie to actually go on site to Le Ketch, which I was very excited about because it didn't end up working. It didn't end up working the last time I was there, so I was really glad to get there this time, which is where I was able to pick up this sexy new tumbler.
I love it.
Also, I didn't show it close up. Look at this fucking haze, man.
It's just glorious.
Yeah,
I miss Le Ketch so much. As you mentioned, I just messaged Guillaume as well that to be like, because I asked him for beer last week. He's like, wait till next week. I'm like, okay.
Yep, I know. I was thinking about that today too. Like we got to make sure to get in on that. Did you see that? One of the recent collabs that they just dropped was a Westie.
Yo, I didn't. Let me take a fucking squiz.
Yeah, take a look at that. God, well, I don't know. I haven't had it yet.
Sorry, is what it looks like? Is it a collab? So you said it was a collab?
Yes.
Fuck.
Yeah, the Memento one.
I did see that. I saw that. Yes. Because I was a little surprised. Just like, who was the other one that I was surprised that did a Counterpart? Yeah. So it's it's awesome that these breweries that are in the hype world that we love, traditionally. Yes, here it is. Yes. That's amazing. I haven't done much of that, and now they're doing it. Oh, looks like they did a collab, of course, with Meso for their anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, they had their 8th anniversary. When was that? Sorry, because my internet's being weird with Instagram. When was this? 6 weeks ago. Oh, fuck. That's
yes.
Ago. Okay, never mind.
I had one or two of the collabs that they launched while I was in town as well, in addition to these new rebranded docks. Okay.
And everything was as killer as it always is.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Goats.
Even the triple the two triple IPAs that they did with Brewski.
Did you get them both?
I did get them both. Yeah, they were both fucking great.
Man, I wish they weren't so like right now with my terrible tolerance.
It would hit you even harder than normal, and you didn't fuck and you don't fuck with triples like even before you left on this trip.
No, not from not liking them. Every time I have them, I'm like, God damn, these are amazing. I wish they weren't 10% to knock you off. You know, it's unfortunate, but I'm not surprised that they killed it. That's amazing. That makes me happy.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll come back to actually going on site at La Ketch, because it's always just a pleasure to be there. And like I know we've talked about it before, but for those who don't know, they've got an absolutely gorgeous location in Saint-Flavie, right on the water of the St. Lawrence. Like it literally backs onto the beach. And since they've revamped their back patio to raise it up to the same level as the rest of the restaurant, because what it used to be is to get out onto the back patio, you'd go outside and then go down some stairs until you got down to ground level. But now they've raised up the whole patio to be at the same level as the rest of the restaurant. So you've now got a much higher view of the water from there.
Amazing.
So the view is just spectacular, and you can also even just walk straight out onto the beach from the back deck. Amazing. And we were out there, which I was very glad that we could do, because it was a case of when we had ordered our food, and I'll talk about the food in a second, because their food is fucking great too. We had ordered our drinks and ordered our food, and while we were waiting for it, as does tend to happen, my kids were getting a bit squirrely while waiting for food, and in a case like that, kind of need to get them up. And because we were able to just walk out to the beach, I didn't need to be walking them around other people's tables. I could actually just walk right out onto the beach with them, let them run around my daughter's not walking yet, but let my son run around in the rocks a little bit, and just throwing walks into the water. He was happy as a clam to do that for 15 minutes until we got back when our food arrived. And I'm just enjoying the breeze at one of my favorite breweries. Couldn't have been happier.
That's awesome. Great picture you painted there. This happy children, ocean breeze, flowing water, food, some of the best beer. Because I know Canada's just because I've been to all these places now where the alcohol, maybe in Italy, you go out of a bar, you can kind of just walk down the street and drink the beer in their glass, but they don't give a fuck. Can you take the La Ketch stuff onto the beach, or does it a hard stop at the?
My suspicion is that the answer is probably technically no.
However,
I a couple of times for the beers that I had there, I walked them up there to take a picture with the view, and it didn't seem to bother anyone. Okay. My guess is that you probably can't really walk off onto the beach with it, but I may have been right on the threshold of where you could argue it was still technically within the bounds of where they were licensed.
Understood. Okay, that makes sense. I'm just curious.
No, would have been great if that was, but my guess would be it's probably not legal.
Yeah, which sucks. Canada sucks.
Knowing what we know about alcohol licensing laws in this country.
Yeah. So once you see that, people don't die immediately, they don't drop dead when you walk 5 meters from the place, and they're doing. We saw people. I'll talk about it after in Italy. Sorry, I don't want to distract you from it, but it's just sort of we couldn't believe it most of the time. We saw people walking down the street where I'm like, where are you? I'm like, yeah, that pub there. I'm like, what? But there's no seats out the front, so they just walk down an alleyway and sit in the alleyway, and everyone just brings the glasses back. It's never a problem. There's no broken glass on the street. there's broken bottles sometimes, but no broken glasses. And it made me just think, just like, why do we over police ourselves to make it so difficult? Obviously, it's not when I say we, it's obviously a government thing, but it just seems so like it takes away the fun of it all, I guess, after seeing the freedom and just feel just like, I don't know, you're just chilling. Like, and if you trust people, most people would just be like, well, I went right back and put them right on the bar and be like, thanks guys, appreciate you. As you know, maybe there's some dickheads who'll steal it or whatever, but for the most part, I think most people are good people and bring it back anyways. Just because that's a unique situation, I guess, is why I was asking with the Ketch. Obviously it backs onto a public beach, so there's also probably, it's almost that more than their alcohol zoning thing, where you like, can you drink on a public beach in Quebec? That's probably where the problem comes in, as opposed to,
I would think so, yeah.
Or equally as much as that. So there's multiple factors at play there. I was just curious because it almost seems like, oh, who's it hurting if you're just like walking on the beach a little bit and you can take some photos and smell the ocean air. But anyway, sick. The way you painted that picture is fucking beautiful, dude. Like, awesome. And seeing like that when you took, I think you took a real nice selfie out there. I was like, fuck, that's it's just wonderful. It's very lots of FOMO.
Oh yeah, that smile was genuine. I was so happy. Like again, like just that experience of like, you know, being able to let my son run around, and I'm like having some of the best beer in the country from one of my favorite breweries, and like being outside in the summer, and like the salty air from from the river and everything. It was just perfect.
Oh, it's a river. It's not a beach.
Well, it's the St. Lawrence at one of the parts where it's quite wide.
Why did I think it was a fucking?
So it's open, so it's opening up, like, you know, where the river opens up quite wide at that point.
Right. So you can barely see the other side type shit.
You can't see the other side when you're in Rimouski. There's an island that you can see, but like it's not the other side of the river. And out at Saint-Flavie, you can't see the other, you can't see anything at all. There's no island. It's so wide that you can't even see the other side at that point.
Right. For some reason, because I know when we went to Gaspé, there's it's essentially like a basin before the Atlantic Ocean. So
that's right. And like Saint-Flavie is at right at the cusp of Gaspésie.
Yes, I remember going past it on the way and seeing all the signs, and I was familiar with it because of your wife's family and that you spent the time there. This is 2020 when I went there, but fuck, that's so cool. It's so cool. So then you got to try. Did you mostly drink the haze there, or did you try a bit of stuff? Like, what was your vibes?
It was just haze that I was drinking. I had on site. I had Dock 150 and I had Capitaine Polaire, which was a double IPA, a collab with Boreal. That was one of the anniversary ones.
Nice. Oh, man, missed all that shit. God damn it.
Yeah.
Shit happens. Okay. Well, the good thing is the Ketch pumps out incredible beers year round, so you really can't go too wrong.
It's true. It's true. And you know, we're going to be hitting Guillaume up soon for to make sure we get some of the latest stuff. And I don't think you're going to be having too much FOMO once we're getting that.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I got to mention the food too, because as much as the beer, absolutely world class. The just the vibe and the view, completely stellar, and the food is also really, really good too. We it's one of those things of any time we're back in my wife's hometown, she's always got a bit of kind of like a checklist of what she wants to do, of kind of classic Quebec things that that we're doing in the area. So a really good poutine was one of them, and we satisfied that at the Ketch.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Quebecois, she was satisfied very heavily.
She was, yes. She was, yes. And another thing, and this is off point of the Ketch, but I figure, but I think I've covered all of the notes on that one. And just while we're talking about this trip, another thing on her list was ice cream, because there's an amazing ice cream shop in Rimouski, in like a really big old heritage house, like just a gorgeous building. All like brick and everything, and it's kind of a local institution called Au Bien Fait, which which has some spectacular soft serve
Fuck yeah.
in really good dip. I got a kind of their house specialty is this is a maple soft serve, which which I get in a cookies and cream dip. It's spectacular. If you're ever there, go to I highly recommend it.
When you say cookies and cream dip, so the soft serve is maple, and they dip it like a dipped, like you have the chocolate dip, you dip it in cookies.
Exactly.
Fuck off. Hell yeah, dude. I don't really rock ice cream as heavy as I should, but when I hear stuff like that, like particularly maple, that is Canadian as fuck.
Exactly.
Awesome. Oh wow, that's awesome. See, that's the other fun shit. Like the travel, obviously the beer stuff is awesome, but there's always cool stuff like that. That's the extra thing about going. Okay, sick. Anything else about that specific? I know we're going to get to the Bad Bones when we switch to that one, but anything else?
The other interesting thing, and then we'll switch gears. It's a bit of an interesting vibe being in Rimouski in the summer. Particularly because as you'll know, in Ottawa, and as you'll know, in Southern Ontario, like the summer is pretty fucking hot. It's pretty regular that we get temperatures in the high 20s, low 30s, and a lot of fucking humidity.
Yeah.
And there have been quite a few heat waves this summer already. Interestingly, some are quite different in Rimouski. During the time that we were there, which was mid-July, kind of like 10th to 21st, something like that. And we had a handful of days which were in the high 20s, but it's nowhere near the same kind of degree as what we're getting here in Eastern Ontario or in Southern Ontario. There were several days where the high was only around 16 to 18, and in the mornings and in the evening going down to as low as 12. So even if and it's a good deal farther north than we are right now, so the sun's setting later than it is at home. But if you're out in the evening at 8 o'clock or something like that, you need a sweater and sometimes even long pants on, because the temperature is already dipping to 16 degrees or even lower to 15, 14 degrees in mid-July.
Fuck, dude.
And we've been there in the summer many times before. So and so we know that this is a thing, and it's exactly like what you were just talking about. It's not just packing shorts and t-shirts. You also need to be packing long pants and a hoodie and and all of this other stuff.
At least you're driving, so there's a little bit more bandwidth, and there's not somebody at a gate busting your balls about the way to your bag or whatever.
Yes, Craig, but I'm also traveling with children.
Oh, so you've got two extra bags.
Even with the car that we have, it's not only two extra bags. There's travel cribs and and strollers. It's a whole other thing. Every single time we do one of these long trips out of town, it feels like we're packing half our house in it. I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
I don't think you're exaggerating by any means. Okay, that makes complete sense. Still, that's interesting, because the time basically in Europe, it wasn't getting dark until after 10 p.m. because of how far north it was.
Because you're a good deal farther north,
significantly, and then still the heat wave, even though I was complaining earlier, and the next part I'll talk about when I get to that is complaining about the heat wave, because it was nearly 40 degrees every single day. the whole time. I had to have 2-3 showers a day. We couldn't have a whole day out. You had to always come back, get changed, chill for a couple hours, change clothes, try to let it dry. And we had to, if we weren't at a place with a laundry, like a in-house laundry, that was difficult because I had to wash every single thing I left with.
Oh my God.
When I came home, because everything was by the end of it, and there was no laundry the last few days. It was just like saturated. So it's interesting because we didn't really get any of that respite at night at all. But that almost sounds too much if it's like 16 below.
Well, it feels like fucking October. It's it's weird. Like. It actually feels like October. The one thing that was nice is that we were there over the time of when the orange haze of the wildfire smoke was coming through Ottawa.
So you missed all of that.
We completely missed it.
Nice work, good, because that was terrible.
We had the the nice fresh river air coming in, and thankfully we missed the wildfire smoke.
That's great for both of you guys, but also for the kids. So it's not something you want anyone to... I heard it was terrible. I was seeing it all the posts. It looked like hell, literally.
Yeah. Oh, when I was on parental leave with when my son was only 14, 15 months old. I
remember.
That was another summer when we had the wildfire smoke again, and and I was stuck inside with him for 3 or 4 days at a time. I was fucking going mad. It's
too much, and we even bought a air purifier from that time. I remember because it was that we still use it. You just put on overnight just to keep the room fresh or whatever, and just because it was so bad, and this looked pretty fucking bad.
After
at least you missed it.
Well, we'll get off this topic in just a second. Back then, when I was climbing the walls, just with the two of us stuck at home alone, because my wife was away on a work trip, so it was literally just the two of us at home, climbing the walls, going nuts. I literally went to the mall just to have somewhere to walk around. That was that was not my house, and to, because we couldn't breathe the fucking air outside. Okay, Jesus anyway. Christ. Enough wildfire nonsense. Go on.
Okay.
You take it away now.
Okay. So the next part, the 2 beers. So I just cracked a beer from Banks from Australia, from Melbourne. This is my favorite brewery in Australia, called Banks.
Yeah.
This is a Mexican lager. This was the last one I brought back in March. Banger. It's actually really good. It tastes like it's got lemon in it, but it doesn't. But look how it's just clear. It's like water. Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fucking wild. Super dope. But before I get there, so all of this trip, then I'll try and move a bit faster, because the more interesting stuff is Europe anyway. When we're in London, we were we knew we had to go to Australia for a friend's wedding, a mutual friend of Tiffany, my wedding. She was a Canadian. She's from Toronto, moved to Melbourne in 2018. I've seen her every trip I've been back, and she's been there 2018, probably something like that. And she was getting married, and she was getting married there. And we're a little bit mad at her. Shout out Chanel, but she's fucking from Toronto, getting married in June, July, and asking Canadians to leave our short warm time to come to cold ass Melbourne during that time. I'm like, God damn it! But it was all good. So what?
Sorry to interrupt. Can you contextualize this for us? What is the temperature like in Melbourne in June, July?
So overnight, anywhere between 0 and 8, maybe. And during the day up to, it's not as bad as Canada. And it never was even that bad growing up. And then during the day, max 15, max. Typically between 10 and 15, and raining a lot of the time. So
feeling kind of like early spring here.
Basically. And the problem was, the funny part is, beforehand, I was so mad about it, because I'm like, fuck, we have all this time. We're going to Europe now. We're going to have all this heat. Then we have to go to this fucking cold ass place that I was just at to suffer. The funniest part was that the first week, as I was saying earlier, in London was just straight cold. Scotland was 12 degrees and raining every day. I was watching the vlog footage, and I'm complaining in the vlog footage about, I'm wearing a fucking hoodie and a jacket, and it's June. All my friends at home are wearing shorts and t-shirts, chilling at 30 degrees. What the fuck? So it was in the end, it wasn't as bad because I had that context. So what we decided was, we're like, well, we're going to be in the UK. This is a pretty good opportunity because we're being sent there. Let's see the family for a bit. And then we were like, well, we have to go to Australia. Why don't we just go from London? Ended up being so much cheaper with that. We used a lot of points. We had a whole bunch of Air Canada points that we'd never really used because we hadn't flown for a while. So we used those points to basically go there. Part of the bonus that made the trip a little more interesting was we got to spend 9 hours, like we talked about a layover earlier, a layover in Frankfurt, Germany, and then a full night in Bangkok, Thailand. So that's why I had the Hofbräu, the German beer. And I was pretty stoked. I'll keep it brief because there isn't much to say. Frankfurt, when I started looking it up, I was like, yes, we're going to have fucking some fresh German beer. This is amazing. I'm into Crispies now. I'm so stoked. Cool city. Not the place to go for beer. Everybody said online, there was like, there's ain't shit. They're known for apple wine is their thing. And we had the apple wine. It tastes like watered down apple juice. It didn't really taste like anything much. So when we went there, the only downside, it was probably 30-something degrees, blue skies. And I've got my backpack that's heavy as shit with my computer and all this stuff in it, plus a carry-on full of stuff, including Tiffany's computer and like the rolly bag, through bumpy cobblestone European streets for like 8 hours. So I had to
God.
I'm trying to be the gentleman. I'm carrying the backpack and I'm carrying the bag, dragging it around, walking around the city. Went to it was very pretty, super pretty place, very cool. Cool bridges, beautiful river in the middle. We went to one place that was known for apple wine and had a couple beers there that were cool. And the apple wine, and there's apparently like a Frankfurt style schnitzel. I wanted to have that there, and the sausage. So we had all of that. Cool, but nothing better than, to be honest, what I got in Hofbräu in Buffalo, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Basically the same shit. And then we went to another place because we couldn't, with one place that was supposed to be good, but it opened around the time we had to be back to the airport. So we missed it. So I went to another place. I actually don't really remember the names because it was all, the second place was called like Zen du Apostle or something like that. And it was cool. They had like it's just like, yeah, it was like a Helles and like a dark lager that they said they had from like barrels that they brew it there and make it. It was definitely cool. Nothing crazy, but I was also tired because I'd only had a couple hours sleep before the flight and lugging the bag around and just dripping sweat. So it was a little a bit of a downer as far as that's concerned, but it was cool to see the city. Very pretty. It's very interesting because they got the old city and then you're on this bridge in the middle of the water looking at the old town, and then like it looks like fucking, I don't know, Cleveland, like American skyscrapers, like everything like what you would see in North America. So it was super interesting as far as that's concerned. The good thing is that because we used our points, we got business class, and I'd never done this before. This was the height of luxury for me. I went to the airport. I'm just dripping sweat. I'm like, yo, what's the chances of using a shower? And I was able to use the shower. And the time we got to the airport before the flight to shower, use the hairdryer to dry my clothes out because I didn't have access to any other fresh clothes, and then get on the plane fresh. It was glorious. It was so nice.
That must have felt so good.
It was one of the best things ever. And the worst, so then I'll tell you the worst part after. So anyway, that was it. Not really much else to report from Frankfurt. It's apparently it's a big hub and it's a big transit hub. That's why there was like a gap.
I've flown through there before.
So you know the vibe. So look, it was cool. No big deal. Nothing really much else to report. Then we went to Bangkok. The problem was we used this app, which I want to put people onto, called Time Shifter. Apparently it's used, multiple people told us about it before the trip, and it's used by NASA, like astronauts, to get used to time changes and things like that. And what it does, you put all of your flights from like leaving to go to Paris to then, and then to coming back home. So like 2 months worth of flights. And the first time you use the app, it's free. And then after that, you got to pay either per time or you do like an annual fee. And what it does, it adjusts you so you don't get jet lag, essentially. That's hence Time Shifter. So like 4 days before you leave, it'd be like, all right, you put what time you get up, what time you go to bed, like preferably. And then it basically works. It tells you when to use caffeine, when to have bright light, when to avoid bright light, when to avoid caffeine, when to use melatonin, when to sleep, when to nap, the whole shit. So we followed it like 90% the whole time. We didn't have jet lag until coming back because we didn't follow it very well because it was very difficult. So the whole time, A1, I could not recommend it enough. So if you're going to travel, Time Shifter. It's an app, first one, but you got to make sure you put all the flights in. So one of the things was have like 2 or 3 hours sleep or whatever before going to Frankfurt. So by the time Frankfurt, we were so tired dragging it around. Even though we slept on the plane because we had business class and lie flat, Thai Airways, the best airline I've ever been on. Absolutely phenomenal. It's so dead. Frankfurt to Bangkok and even coming back, same thing. Dead. Hardly anybody on there. They just kept offering you food to the point where I'm like, stop. Like, it's too much. Like, it was crazy. Even one of the ones, like, like, I'm like, all right, relax. It was like caviar on like little crackers. I'm like, I don't even think I've eaten that properly before. Like, I've had caviar, but not like just from a tin. It was crazy. So it was really, really nice. And they give you pajamas, and even in the bathroom, they got a fucking a cologne, a Thai Airways exclusive cologne in the bathroom. Crazy. Got to Bangkok. We knew we only had one night, and we had an early flight the next day. So we got this stay in the Marriott Courtyard by the airport. When we went to Bangkok, so we were by the time we got out of the airport into the hotel, showered, freshened up, ready to go, it was like 5:30. So we were already pushing it. We barely got to see anything, so we're a bit disappointed in the end. In the cab on the way to the city, it's only 30 minutes. We're like, both of us are just like falling asleep. Every time I wake up, I see Tiff, I'm like, wake up, babe, wake up. Like, we gotta see this place. So went to a cafe and walked around and went to a couple of little places that we had on our list and tried to go to one of the temples. We could see it, but they wouldn't let us in because it was closed. Then we just went to the night market in Chinatown. Pretty sick. We had like Michelin guide like soups for like 70 baht, 100 baht, which is a few dollars. Singer and Chang in the streets and different ones. So it was a cool cultural experience because I'd never been to Asia before. And everyone's always like, hey, massage, tuk-tuk, do you want this? And I'm like, this fucking don't talk to me. Like, it pisses me off a bit. I hate it. But we were in the tourist area, and everywhere else it's normal, people were telling me. But it was really cool. It was super hot. It was just like a nice experience. We ate some fantastic food and just got to really chill. The hotel was like a Marriott Courtyard. That's what I was saying. It was like a resort. It was insane.
Really?
I've never, by the airport, 10 minutes from the airport, never seen it. We've stayed at Marriott Courtyard in Jacksonville, Florida. Shithole. Like all these other places.
I'm just thinking like if I picture the Marriott Courtyard,
it's not the height of luxury,
here,
is it?
Like here in Ottawa, it's like that's like a garbage hotel.
Exactly, and that's why we used our use a Marriott, so not points to pay for it, but like tried to rack up the points. Spectacular service, amazing room, amazing shower, bed, the whole thing, incredible. So super dope. At least just to go there. Didn't only had some. I went to like a 7-Eleven. They have more 7-Elevens there than even Japan apparently. So I got a couple different variants of like Singer and Leo was one of the that's Leo, Singer, and Chang were the main beers. So I tried just some of that. So they didn't have any of it at the LCBO to grab that for this. So that was sort of brief. Didn't get to go to any craft beer spots. Had to go to Melbourne. Got to Melbourne. Went to a brewery, stayed with my mum in the suburbs, went to a brewery that's called 3806. I had them on the pod, absolute fucking legends. I wanted to take my mum there to eat, and my friends came, and I want to take Tiff there as well. So we had the cafe that I went to every day last trip, and then this brewery. Food was amazing. The chef, Zach and Bree, were just absolutely, because we met them last time and had them on the pod. Fucking amazing. Food was so good. It lived up to every level of the hype. Just spectacular. Then the other beer stuff, I stayed in this area, which was my favorite area where I spent a lot of time in my 20s, called Fitzroy, which is next to Collingwood. Funnily enough, same Collingwood is here, but we all stole from England, it seems. That's the other thing I learned. Everything from Canada and Australia is stolen from England. Everything in Quebec is stolen from France. I didn't realize the volume of it until going there and being like, oh wow, we are just copy paste of these fucking places.
That's colonialism for you.
Truly, like no one was even creative. They're like, let's just name it after all these other places, like everything. So is what it is. But yeah. So Melbourne, the only brewery I went to was one I went to last time called Bod Riggy, and I went to with my mate Leslie, who was a dude I met last time, who it was a student from China who just moved to Melbourne, and we met at a brewery with my cousin, and we kept in touch. So he was like, "Yo," so we went and grabbed a couple of beers. He gave me 2 beers from Thailand when he went, so I got to try some craft beers from Thailand. One was I think a Westie, and one was like a porter. Both were actually really nice. And I was like, fuck, okay. So I need to spend more time in Thailand. So at least I got to try some via him. Now, what I focused on in Melbourne was beer bars that were with bottle shops every time. That's all I did and I did a vlog, and I went to 5 different ones. All of them were awesome, really cool beers. Unfortunately, I actually got can you imagine, right? I'm over there. I have a pretty strict schedule. We've talked about this on the pod where I don't drink certain nights. Traveling, I'm fucking drinking every day. I got sick in Wales, in Cardiff. I started getting a cold, but I pushed through, thugged it out, no problem. Kind of went away a little bit. And then when I got to Melbourne, it was fine. Then after, I think I got there on like a Friday, and by like the Tuesday, Wednesday, it started kicking in. I got fucked up. I was fucked for the wedding that I had to go to. So it was rough. I had to keep pushing through because I had no choice. Like, it was kind of becoming more of a flu, but I didn't have a choice. And I was trying to take some time off to not drink. As a couple of days I took off in Melbourne and some time in London here and there, but it was still fucking with me. It was really unfortunate, but I guess that's what happens when there's like too many opportunities to try all this good stuff, and a lot of things we do are around beer. And even if I wasn't drinking, I think I probably would have got. Even Tiff got sick as well, and she'd never really get sick. She had allergies. I'm like, you got fucking sick. Just trying to like downplay it a bit, but I understand. So all the beer bars in Melbourne were most of them were in the general area. They were all awesome. One specific one. So my friend Eamon, he's from Santa Cruz, lives in San Francisco. So we hung out with him and his wife, who was our original friend we met, and they've stayed here. Eamon's been on the channel before. He has a good friend from Santa Cruz named Brian, and he owns a bar called the Redwood Tasting Room in Fitzroy North in Melbourne. So he told me last time to go, didn't get to go. This time I went, and he happened to be there, so we connected, hung out with him for a bit. That was really nice. Place was super cool, was rammed. Cracked open some beers from his some of his faves, and he sent me away with some stuff. That was really cool. So shout out to Brian. Redwood Tasting Room, super dope. But all the bars we went to in Melbourne were just super cool. Like, Melbourne's cool as shit. It's a very, very cool city. Like, it was nice. I typically had stayed with my mum in the suburbs, and the suburbs eat a bit of ass. I'm not into it at all. Tiffany had spent most of her time in Melbourne, in the suburbs, in that same sort of area, so she hadn't really seen Melbourne properly. And this time she was busy with the wedding stuff, but she got to see a bit more of it and kind of see the vibes. And the coffee was just fucking the best. There is nowhere on this planet, I will die on that hill, nowhere comes close to Melbourne. It's absolutely much. But I will say, and I'm telling you because I know you care about coffee, London, absolutely phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal.
Oh, that's
coffee.
good. That's good.
So,
okay.
The second best in the world to Melbourne, and I think the third would be Montreal. Like, it was that good, and I couldn't. But yeah, Melbourne was what I expected, and I had to send a bag back with Tiff's mum because we had to fly her out using our points to take care of our dog while we went to Australia because we brought the pup, because we couldn't just leave him there. So that was good for her because she hadn't, last time she went to go to the UK, she broke her ankle 2 days before. She was going to surprise her mother for her 80th birthday. So she couldn't go. So then we used our points. We're like, hey, she was going to take time off work to look after Barrington if we weren't doing this trip anyway. It's like, hey, how about you come to London? She's like, fuck yeah. So she was stoked. Yeah, say less. Let's go. So she was very happy. So, we flew her out, and it was really nice to do something for her. And it was her birthday as well during that time. So the family tricked on her, took care of her, and she cooked for them. And Barrington is in love with her, so it worked really nice. So that was. I
saw that video of that you posted of when she got there and he was losing his shit.
Lost his, because he's like, "What the fuck, grandma? Like, what is grandma doing here?" Like, it was very cute. So that was a real nice thing to. I'm very grateful to be able to do that. Once again, it was points. It wasn't anything crazy. People were like, let's we'll be able to leverage these points we just held on to for years and use them for something good like that to give her a gift to come out to see her family. And then she's already hooking, she already had the time off work, so fuck it, come to England and have a good time. But yeah, so Melbourne was fire. So that was why I was drinking this one from the last trip. So it was a good excuse to drink that. So then basically that was kind of it from that side. There wasn't a ton to say about that. It's like, because last time I focused on breweries. I did a vlog where to drink in Melbourne. I did a bunch of breweries predominantly. This time I did the vlog, which I'm going to edit next week. Probably by the time this comes out, it might be out. And it was just like the 5 beer bars that I went to. And I really enjoyed it for different reasons. It was very cool, and I really truly wish that in Canada we had something like that. It's really a little sad to me that we don't have the ability to do that. Same as like brewed and bottled in Buffalo and Lewiston, New York, and all these different places that I've been to in the States and England. And now I'm just like, man, like Canada, we just get really, like, I don't understand why we can't do something like that. And obviously there's a reason why, but it's a real shame. But Australian craft beer was really nice. So I got to have a bunch of different stuff, focused on the haze, because I was a little worried, because this next part that I'm going to talk about after you do your next part is the Europe side. And the Europe side, I was like, I'm getting fucking no haze. This is about to be very rough and relatively accurate. And I lost weight because of it. So let's go. There's some upsides too,
Yeah. Why not? I mean, I was pretty jealous of some of the images that you were posting in Italy, where you probably I'm seeing pictures of you posting like your little shots of espresso with like mountains in the in the background and whatnot. I'm like, oh fuck, I want to go back.
Have you been to all these places? Have you been to like Sorrento and all that?
I have not been to all of the same places that you have been. I realized, by the way, I've said something drastically false earlier on when I was saying that I haven't been to Europe in the summer since like 2004. I've definitely been at least like 3 times since then.
I was gonna say, since I've known you, you've been a bunch.
Yeah, no, I know. Even since you've known me, what the fuck am I talking about? Like I've definitely thought of at least 3 times I've been in the summer since then. So that was not a deliberate lie. I was had a complete brain fart there. Anyway, no, I have not been to Sorrento, but I have been to other places like in Italy and France and Spain, in the summer, and it enjoyed similar experiences. It was like bringing back a lot of memories watching your guys' stories. I was very jealous.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so then when I talk about, I'd love to sort of hear your experience in which places you'd been to and similar stuff when I'm going through it, because we're enamored with everything out there. It's just absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. All right, so the Bad Bones song. Do you want to piss or anything? Are you okay?
I'm okay right now.
All right, I'll hold. I gotta go, but I can.
Oh no! Well, if you've got to, we can take a break. Why don't we? Since we're we're kind of like in between segments right now.
Yeah, might as well. I don't want to interrupt in the middle of your the Quebec side as well, because I'm very curious to hear. So, all right, boom. We'll be right back, yo. And we are back, Nathaniel.
Back again. Here we go.
All right. Okay. So, I wonder if it even goes through. I guess it does come through. I hope it does come through. Sorry for being creepy, guys. Now, I went to Germany, Thailand, Australia, and then back to London. You, sir, are going to talk about Bad Bones, which is...
I am, yes. But a quick pause on one thing, because you triggered a memory when you were talking about coffee earlier.
Yes.
Like being back in Melbourne, and then and then you mentioned London and then Montreal, as being like top 3 coffee cities, which... Now I've never been to Melbourne, and I've only spent barely enough time in London to to be able to comment, and I wasn't the coffee nerd that I am now back then, so can't comment on those. Montreal I can certainly comment on though, and when I was most recently in Montreal was back in April. It wasn't for a good reason. Unfortunately, it was there for a funeral, so didn't have time to do any beer things. However, as I told you, where we were staying was literally like 2 floors up and 2 doors down from the Ingamba location on Park, which like that was a that was a redeeming like quality of the weekend. And yes, your old hood, I could literally see your old apartment building from the balcony of where we were staying.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, but like one of the saving graces of that weekend was that Ingamba was like was just 2 doors over like from where we were staying. So I made multiple visits there, and it turned me back onto like to a coffee roaster that I haven't had for a while, which was Traffic. And
yeah.
As you know, I've been like in the last few months, I've upgraded my home coffee system, and with the Traffic beans that I bought there, like they were some of the nicest that I've brewed at home ever, I think.
Okay, and like espresso, right?
Yeah.
Did you get funky ones? Because Traffic is known for kind of funky, or did you get like more chocolatey, straight up?
No, I didn't go too funky because like light roast, I'm still having is still very difficult for me, like for me to dial in. I'm experimenting, but but those are the ones that I'm having the most trouble with right now. So the ones that I got from that particular visit were were medium to medium dark roast, but like they were so fucking good though.
Hell yeah, dude. Interesting you mentioned that Duran just got a bunch of Traffic in. If I didn't have, I got a whole bunch of shit from Melbourne that I'm picking up from my mother-in-law's on Sunday. So if I didn't have that, I was like, oh man, like Traffic, the branding is awesome. The packaging looks incredible. They seem to have such a wide variety from funky to straight up. Like, sorry. Yeah. Awesome.
But like, I'm trying to kind of like know where my strengths are and not get and not go too crazy with it because like I don't want to go too funky before I know how to quite do it right. I'm experimenting with some lighter roasts right now and like trying to get a feel for how to dial it in properly. We shouldn't dwell too long on this because this isn't.
We need a coffee podcast.
Oh yeah, but like, oh man. It's a journey that I'm that I'm having a lot of fun with. Like light roasts are fucking difficult to get right, but I'm having fun with it.
Dude, I'm happy to hear that you're fucking around with it. I never really thought of it in that sense as far as like the type of roast. I would always think of it as almost the roaster or the type of the country of origin. So like the different like beans right now, like depending on the size, like I drink a lot of Perk, which is from Atlanta, and they do a lot of co-ferment, so they have a lot of funky as shit, and they need to be dialed in. Like I gotta turn it the finest grind to basically the finest grind. The last bag I had was finest. This bag I'm on right now is like a little bit less, and then in between I had one bag from Melbourne from February, which is way too old, but I bought too much, and then I left. And that one was like way more, but there was much smaller beans. So I wonder if it's like Colombia versus Brazil versus Ecuador or wherever the bean is coming from, as opposed to necessarily the roast. The roast is probably another factor in the process. And
I think it is, but no, you're probably right. There's obviously multiple factors to it. It's it just with the like I haven't been fucking with this quite as seriously for as long as you have, so my frame of reference is a bit is quite a bit smaller. But that's what I found so far is that medium to darker roasts so far for me have been a bit more forgiving than the lighter roasts. But the one that I'm working on right now is a light roast. It's a Burundi roast. And and I found that I had to go like 8 notches finer on it, which was the biggest kind of range that that I've done so far to get it kind of in the right extraction rate.
Can I don't want to double click too much more, but I am curious. You piqued my curiosity, and I imagine there's a lot of crossover between beer and coffee. So guys, please bear with us. Are you What's your ratio and what's your time frame? So, for example, are you going 20 grams in, 40 grams out, and 25 to 35 seconds? Like, what's your recipe?
So weight is a little bit too hardcore for me, just at this moment. So I'm
okay?
I'm not going so hardcore as to weigh what's going in and what's coming out.
Okay.
But I am timing my shots, and it was a case of I'm still maybe one adjustment away from having this particular bag dialed in perfectly, but because I thought I had it right yesterday on a shot that I pulled that came in right around 29 seconds, and then I did it at the same setting again today, and it came too fast at 19 seconds.
I've had the exact same problem multiple times. So that is, as in, I'm talking I'd pull Tiffany's shot, I'd make her coffee, I'd do hers was I usually between 25 and 35 seconds. So maybe hers would be on the 30s. Then I do mine and it's 19 as well. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's the same setting, same beans. I got a hopper. It's a pain in the dick, and that's one of the things I don't understand, because it's the exact same process. I follow it. They got the wire distribution tool, the spring loaded tamper, so I can't fuck it up. I got the puck screen. I bought a brush the other day, so now I even brush all the grinds off, which is I haven't bothered really doing for the most part. Still there's differences, and I've heard that at Durand, the baristas who I made friends with, some of them, they were like, oh, it depends. So say if it's a hot day and the door's open, then that'll change, and then we have to redial it in again. I'm like,
just like the humidity could fuck with it even. Oh, and I'm
thinking that's then air conditioner could fuck with it. And if the air conditioner's on versus if I have the back door, the wire screen, so then the air from outside's coming in, that changes it. So, but I'm talking a matter of single digit minutes between pulling shots. I do tiffs, make her milk, pour her stuff, drop that off, come back, do mine pours. They taste basically, because everyone always says on Reddit that does it taste good? Yep. Then don't worry about it. Don't overanalyze it. But you and me are a little left brained like that. So I want the shit to be if I'm seeing 33, 34 seconds, I'm just like, fuck yeah, that's what I want. At the weight that I want it, boom, let's go. But it's
it is a thing for me. That 19-second one, I didn't pour it down the drain. I still drank it, and it still tasted good. So good. I do agree with that whole thing. Did it taste good? Then so I do agree with that. But I am also still what the fuck went wrong with this one? Why didn't it work? It still frustrates me a little bit. I'll still drink it, and it's and it still tasted good. The shot wasn't fucked, but but it definitely still frustrates me that there was that much variance.
Yes, and I wonder if without busting your ass on the weight,
and we should and after this point we should get back on beer.
Yes, but we'll stop it. I wonder if it's worth because the scale, if you wait so you know what's in and out, I wonder, because for me, I have the same problem, and I have the scale, so I know exactly what's going in and out. Still have the same problem. I think you probably, I don't know if it'll fix the problem. I wonder if it'll just my cousin does the same thing. My cousin does in Melbourne, who's he taught me everything I know about coffee. He does it, and we're FaceTiming. I'm showing him, and he starts to bust out his scale, just to switch it up for him to be oh, fuck, am I doing it right? I just do it by eyes. I'm well, I don't know. I changed the beans so much that I couldn't possibly do it by eyes, even if I wanted to, because they all grind differently, and I need to know how much is going in and out, or how am I supposed to do this with any sort of reasonable accuracy. I'm sure the variances are negligible. For any coffee nerds might even have some thoughts, but might be something that would be the only thing I would suggest, because otherwise I know you upgraded your grinder, you got the new machine, as long as you got the accurate, consistent tamping. Are you using a puck screen?
I'm not using a puck screen.
All I heard about that, because I got two, it came with two, a thin one and a thicker one. I used the thin one the whole time, and I started getting annoyed with it, and before I left I started using the thicker one, and now I've been using that. It's 1 millimeter versus 0.5 millimeter or something. And apparently it distributes the water a little more evenly.
Okay.
And also stops the grinds from touching the group head, so you don't have to clean
Yeah.
it as much and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
anyways,
the weighing is something that, like, if I had the time to devote to it, like I would use it every time. Like the complexity of it, I'm not opposed to at all. The only thing is just kind of like what's the cap of complexity that I'm willing to put into it right now, and just
gotcha.
with parenting and everything, like I need to cap it somewhere. Is just kind of the only thing. That would be that would be the goal someday, is to be willing to get to the weighing thing. I might get there at some point. It's just one level of complexity too much for me right now, is the only thing. That, like, if I can I still want to get the shots dialed right. If they taste good, that can still be enough for me.
Honestly, that's the only thing that matters. I think at the end of the day,
yes.
Do they taste good? Cool. Then who gives a fuck? It's probably overkill, and I think I just saw too many of those like Meta Ray-Ban perspective videos with them doing the routine, and like I just got all the stuff from the routines, and I don't know any other way to do it, because that's how I learned espresso. So I don't know. I guess you just like wing it, whatever the fuck, but. Yeah, if it tastes good, who gives a shit? Fuck, man. This is the thing.
And I'm enjoying the process. If it tastes good, and I'm enjoying the process, so it's giving me what I need right now.
Then you're winning. You're taking the dub on that. Okay, I love it. Sorry, guys, for all the coffee talk, but I feel like we've done coffee talk on here before, and people understand it, and a lot of people are with the shit.
But you know what? For those of you who are into the coffee talk, you're welcome.
And we're happy to do it more often, because I will do a whole I've always wanted a coffee podcast. I just don't know enough about it, but I would do coffee featured podcasts on here if there's any interest. If anyone, is inspired hearing this and comment on Spotify or on YouTube or DM us on Instagram or whatever the fuck, let us know.
And as someone who who is friends with Craig and has been friends with Craig for a long time and knows him outside of the beer world, I can tell you he's way more intense about coffee than he is about beer. I mean, way more intense. It's not even close.
You don't even know how nice it is to be home, to have control again. Like, it's been cool to try coffee, but to be able to just do it all. Yeah, you're right. It's weird. I would think I'd be more intense about beer, but the coffee, and I'm going to talk about that when I get to my Italy part, because that was a thing, which it's actually kind of cool in the end. But anyways, we digress. Bad Bones.
Did we ever?
Yes. It's okay. Who gives a shit? Our podcast. We can talk as long as we like.
All right. So what I have here, and this is again from the Rimouski trip, is I finally got it focusing on it at the first try this time.
Yeah, you got that.
So I've got Ambulance, which is from I checked the date on Instagram while we were off camera earlier. This is from June 11th that they posted it on Instagram anyway. So just shy of 2 months. So We'll see how it's doing.
I mean, look, I think it's going to be a slapper. Just because Bad Bones does have the
it does have staying power.
Bad Bones has some of the best staying power. There's Meso are incredible around 2 months. I would say Bad Bones are one of the other ones, just because typically their beers are so green.
Yeah.
I found they just last really well.
Because all of them have it, and of course now it's not going to focus on it. But now it's but it has this thing that says extra dry hopped every time it says that.
Oh, okay. So that's like a newer thing for them, that they've started the extra dry hop, right? Or is it?
I don't think that's new. Actually, I'm pretty sure they've been doing that from the rip. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe they called them hoppy. What the fuck? Because I was the reason I'm saying that is on Instagram there was a because it's their anniversary basically right now. I think this weekend. And they were calling it, fuck, I gotta find it now, it's gonna piss me off. They were calling it something else. Bad Bones beer. They had another version of an older beer, and they had, like, I thought it said extra dry hop here, extra dry hop painkillers, and it wasn't always extra dry hopped. So I think that's
okay.
I think that's a newer thing that they're doing.
Oh no, sorry. The thing that they always do is the extra hoppy ale.
Correct. That's exactly correct. That's what the extra hoppy ale, but the extra dry hop is a newer thing.
Yes. No.
And
Okay. No, you're right. I was mixing that up.
That's okay. It's
my
very
bad.
similar.
My bad.
You know what?
C certified brewhead.
You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna drink a macro lager from France.
There you go.
Wish me luck. Who knows?
Kronenbourg 1664.
Yeah, over there, fire. Over here, we'll see.
We'll see.
At minimal, I'm gonna let you talk about your shit for a bit because then I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, like I said, there's not a whole extra story here because unfortunately, I was not in the townships and didn't get to visit the tap room myself. But why this one is on my list is because this was part of my Rimouski trip. In that the IGA that I love so much near my mother-in-law's place has a very good selection of Bad Bones there, which has been a good addition to things in the last 6 months because they've always had a good beer list. But in my last 2 visits, and we've been twice this year, once in April and once once now, is that their availability of Bad Bones has skyrocketed. So that beer buyer there must really be up on his shit the last few months that he's got a huge selection of Bad Bones there. So when I've been able to get in there, I've been able to enjoy that more than I can get them here at home. It's because when I pop over to when I pop over to Rapido, it's kind of a one-off thing. If I see any Bad Bones there,
do they sell out quick or something?
I don't know if they just sell out quick or if they just don't get every release there. My suspicion is that they might not get every release because I follow them on Instagram and they're not posting Bad Bones very often. So I'm suspicious they're just not getting every release. But anyways, it's been
quite limited.
Yeah. Because their operation is still pretty small, but
well, yeah, they're limited with the. Remember what Zach was saying last pod that they still pretty limited with the. Oh, you weren't on the last one, were you? With
did you have them on? Did you have them on again?
Yeah,
did you have them on again while I was off?
I think so. With Ryan, who is the Kiwi dude.
Okay,
who used to brew for Wills. Okay, yeah. So you missed that last one. So I think even then you're still saying that they trying to give people more places more beer, but there's only so much that every place can get. But just basically exactly what you said. Scale is scale. Like they got now they got their own tap room down the street from the brewery, so they've got to service that now as well. And they got I think they got the tap pouring out of Dunham, and they can only do so much, man. So it's it's I imagine they're trying to service it as much as possible, and I'm sure that if that retail establishment is selling through all the shit, then which they probably are, you'd be pretty weird to me if Bad Bones aren't flying off the shelves. Then imagine just as soon as the capacity is able, they're able to do it, they'll fling them some more.
Yeah. But anyway, it's fucking fire. Yeah, don't really have much else to say about it.
Well, happy anniversary, second anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, to Bad Bones. And
cheers, fellas.
Fuck yeah! Do I have the glass? Did Dan give us both? He probably did.
Yeah. Shouts to Dan from Zenon for this delightful Bad Bones glass right here.
What a mad dog! Love Dan. Yeah, man. Bad Bones anniversary. They're incredible. Yeah, man. I've been watching the releases and am frothing at the mouth for that. So I was thinking of chatting with you to see if we could figure something out to see what we could do because I want it. But here we are. Okay. I love it. So you got the Killer Haze out of Quebec this last summer. And for my final part, I guess, you did. And it's interesting having envy I'm like, oh my god, Nate's at fucking Saint-Flavie, and you're sitting there at the Ketch, and wherever I was at the time would have been pretty cool, but I didn't have hazy IPAs of that quality. So you know, everyone always wants what you don't have, I guess, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing or where you are.
It's true, but the good news is that all of these folks that we've talked about have not stopped brewing haze. So now you're back, and you're able to get some. So
absolutely, opportunity cost. You know, it is what it is.
So
and,
yep. So tell us what went on in the rest of Europe.
Yes. So basically, when we knew we had to go to Australia, we're like, well, we're going to come from London. And when we come back, excuse me, from Australia to London, when Tiff's mum will be with Barrington. And then we had a few days with her, and we were like, well, we're here. Tiff's birthday is the most important day of the year for us, because it was the same day my father passed. And this year was our 10-year anniversary for my dad passing. So it was a bit of a more special year, which is also why we went to Australia to see Mum earlier. She wanted us to come back when it was warm as opposed to when it was cold. Go to the grave and do some shit for her at home and all that stuff. So we're like, all right, let's do something special. And Tiffany, and I guess, you know, I can't pretend I didn't want to always go there, but always want to go to Tuscany. And we're like, well, we're going to be in England. Why don't we just it's like 10 days till her birthday. Let's go to Tuscany. Like, well, she's always wanted to go to France. So we're like, okay, France and Italy, that's pretty doable. We had 20 days, so just shy of 3 weeks. So once we got back, we did the pet crossing again. So you had to do the same thing. Got to go on the train through the tunnel. That's a whole other I won't even go into it. There's so much to say, but it's a whole other story. So we went to Calais, and then we took the train to Paris. I haven't been in 22 years. Tiff hadn't been to anywhere in Europe, even though she'd been to London so many times because of her family. She'd never been to Europe, so that's why she was excited. Paris, the fucking best. We would live in Paris in a second. And I'm not even that much of a big city guy anymore. We love Paris so much. It's so amazing. Like, it's all the small things in Europe. So aside from the things that piss me off, Europe doesn't have air conditioning, as we talked about. They don't have paper towels when you dry your hands in the bathroom. They've always got dirty ass fucking hand dryers, like the air dryers. So annoying. Drove me crazy. What was the other thing they had? There was something else that will come to me afterwards that were just simple things that Europe doesn't do that we do here. That I'm like, fuck, what are we doing? It's almost like we were talking about in Paris specifically, the attention to detail, all the restaurants, the awnings, the wicker chairs, the tables, the colors of the strings of wicker in the chair match the awning that match the table. Like, it seems so thoughtful across the board. It's so clean. France, particularly compared to Italy. Italy was quite dirty, lots of broken glass, lots of shit all over the place. Whereas Paris and the south of France, where we went to Paris, Nice in France. Just so clean. We weren't really doing many beer. I had some beer stuff there. It was just like Montreal on crack, and that was the point. Was that Montreal was trying to be that because it's from that, just like, you know, all the other cities are from London or whatever. When I say all the others, Canada, Australia, a lot of America are from London. There was this alleyway. We stayed in this area called Saint-Germain-des-Prés, which is the 6th arrondissement. Are you familiar with all of that shit? The arrondissement thing?
No, not really. It's been a long time since I've been in Paris, and the geography escapes me a little bit.
No problem. I had no fucking clue either. And I went in 2004. I don't even remember where I stayed. I had no idea. Paris is like it's like arrondissements, like neighborhoods, and they're all like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, up to like 20th or whatever. So we stayed in the 6th. So that's the main part. There's like the River Seine around it. The Eiffel Tower was on like the left side. We were on this other side, and it was not far from Notre Dame, like where we were, like 15-minute walk from there, 10-minute walk from there. Such a sick neighborhood. The hotel, we didn't realize until we woke up, there was no windows. We're like, what the fuck? And we were so mad that the elevator was so small. That was the other thing. Most of them don't have elevators, and you had to always look for a place with elevators. If they did, it was barely enough room for one person with a few bags, and then Tiff had to come up with, because we had a dog, so you had to come up with the dog, and then the other. Everything was a whole thing. You're talking about with kids, it was either equal or a little bit less of a hassle for us with the volume of bags we had plus the dog. Very sweet. They always left macaroons on the bed when you went to the hotels. They put like a thing of macaroons and a handwritten note. Very cute. So Paris was fucking awesome. Went to this alleyway the first night, and it was just the only downside. Every fucking prick is smoking cigarettes everywhere. It's disgusting. It's nonstop. Every table they're chain smoking, and we're sitting here just like getting secondhand cancer. Like, it was fucking horrible. Paris is way worse than Italy. Like, Paris specifically, Nice a little bit less, and then Italy was pretty chill. But Paris was so bad. But the fairy lights, the cobblestones, we were just like, what? This is a movie. It was just beautiful. Food was always amazing. We tried to eat as much, escargot first meal, fucking French onion soup, which is more of a Tiff thing. I don't fuck with onions like that, but just like lots of French type of, food. Really enjoyed it. As far as the beer side, Paris, so it's actually
sorry. Just before you continue on,
yes.
Like with that, just while you're talking about the food, it's one of those things of something that they figured out. One of those things that's not so complicated about French cooking. It's use real butter, like real butter, lots of salt. Like that's one of those things that they figured out how to fucking do right.
And it's just glorious every time. And we still came back weighing less than we did eating stuff here, which is based on what you said. Butter is calories, salt and all that's calories, and you still come back because you're walking
really
20,000.
Good bread. Like butter, salt, bread,
and A1 bread. Everything. They always give you the bread with the meal. Yeah, I'm going to actually remind me for Italy about the bread and giving you shit for free. If I forget, giving you shit for free, Italy. Remind me. Yes, the French food. We tried to I did the when in Rome thing. I'm in France, just like I was in England. I was like, give me fucking fish and chips, British food, pies, cask beers, I'm in fucking France. I want French food. I want snails. I want fucking the French beer. I want wine. Obviously, I was rocking Aperol spritzes pretty hard. Like, if they didn't have any decent beers or beers I was interested in trying, I would get an Aperol spritz every single time. And if not, I get one beer, then a spritz. So in Paris, from what I can recall now, we went to a beer bar in, what's it called? Montmartre, near Sacre-Cœur, up the top. I think it's the 18th arrondissement. That the higher the number, the further out it is. Typically, the lower the number, the closer it is to the shit that you want to see. And it was called La Binouze, Binouze. I met the owner, Vincent. So we went in there. I was like, this one came really highly recommended. I was like, oh, perfect. We want to go to Sacre-Cœur, see that shit. The line was insane to go in. We basically didn't go in anywhere. Oh, the coolest shit we did, and I arranged it because Barrington's a service dog. Long story, but he's a service dog. We went to the Louvre. And we got in. I've never been to the Louvre, and they treated us like gold. We got to go everywhere, see all they had like a Michelangelo thing with all the actual statue or the sculptures, and then we went to the Mona Lisa, and we're looking. And then, have you been to the Louvre?
I have not. No.
Okay, so the room with Mona Lisa, which I'd seen in the past, it's just like fucking people everywhere, just trying to take photos of this.
Yeah, my wife has been, and she's described it to me exactly the same.
So we did the thing, and I'm like, we're in the room, and we're holding Barrington up. We basically did a whole thing where we're holding Barrington up in front of the famous things, fucking Big Ben and Tower of London, and getting all these photos of him. So we're doing that, and then as we're sort of leaving, we're like, okay, I get it. There's not much else we can do. There's a part where it was, because he's a service dog, they're like, oh, you can come here. We're like, what? And they've got it all roped off until you can walk right up to it. So we got a family photo, but most importantly, got Barrington right in front of the Mona Lisa, which was super cool. To do that. It was so cool. They treated us so nice. It was so nice. So we didn't, that was the only shit we did. Everything else we saw from the outside. We didn't get to, it was just like too hard to continue to organize all of these things with the service dog. Some people, Europe didn't seem to understand it as much as they do over here. Like, they just like, what do you mean a service? What's that about? Like restaurants had no idea what it was. They just let him in. Everyone was just chill. It was only like museums and things like that were a little bit strict. So anyway, yeah, Sacré-Cœur was crazy busy. So we went to this one called La Binouze, and it was like, oh, the beer, they had like 12 things on tap. I'm looking, and Tiff's like, that says Fine Balance. So that's not Andrew, is it? And I looked, and I was like, hang on, because I got my everything I wear is prescription, and my glasses are polarized. So if I see a TV screen, they often turn out black. Even like the ATM when you're paying for stuff, everything's black. So I'm looking at it, I can't really see. I'm like, what's it called? I'm like looking up on Untapped. I'm like, what the fuck? This is Fine Balance. I said to the dude, like, yo, we're from Canada. Like, he's like, yeah, Andrew was just here. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, what the fuck? So they had like Fine Balance on tap. Andrew was messaging me because he'd seen that I was in Paris. This was like towards the end of, we were only there for like 4 nights or something. So Andrew was messaging me, telling me all the different places that he liked, and he was like super stoked. And I went and looked at the other fridge. They had Will's, Meso, Badlands, Third Moon, Judiciel.
Come on.
Like all the best of the best from Canada, they had it in this fridge. I couldn't believe it. So we were there for like 4 beers. So I tried to have as much as possible that were local. One thing I did learn, do you know the brewery called Outer Range from Frisco in Colorado? Outer Range.
Yes, I'm familiar.
One of the owners moved to the French Alps, and they started Outer Range French Alps. So they had Outer Range beer. I was like, what the fuck? He goes, yeah,
come on.
This is local now. This is like from France, and they brew locally. And it was phenomenal. That was one of my favorite discoveries in France. So Troy was like, I texted Troy because I was texting everybody because I connected Troy because he was like their 10th anniversaries next year and they want to do some big stuff. So I connected him with, I got Homeboy's details and tried to connect everybody with the dude. So Troy was like, yo, do me a favor. They had Horn Cackler, which was an IPA that was, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks old. He's like, can you buy it? Even if it's like $25 Canadian, like I'll take care of it for you. Just buy it and try it and let me know how it is. Did pretty well because it's from the distributor. So the distributor gets it from Canada and they're always minimum a month old by the time it gets to Europe. Yeah. So he didn't know how things were tasting. So it was pretty dope. I was pretty impressed, to be honest, overall, as far as how that went. But that was one of my favorite beer bars of the whole trip. It was so sick. It was so cool. What else we do in Paris? Then down the street from that was Mikella. I'd never been to a Mikella bar or Mikella bar. So had a quick beer there. Paris. I think that might have been. Oh, there was a brewery called Paname or Paname. I'm not sure if it had the accent. And they were a brewery that I'd seen around, and I had it at some restaurants. And they had this brewery that was on the canal in, I forget the arrondissement, but it was 6. They had like pizza from there and like the brew. Then we went for a walk around the canal, and it was just like, we were there for Bastille Day. So we went to like the bridge by the Louvre, and you could see the top of the Eiffel Tower, and everyone's just jamming, watching the fireworks and all. They had like a drone show and stuff. It was pretty great. We didn't have the best view because you would have to go right in, but I feel like the best example, we were walking across like a bridge, and there was someone in a boat, and just a guy by himself, and he looked up and he went like this. He did like the half heart with Tiff's like, what's he doing? I'm like, oh no. Oh
yeah. You were telling like Noah and I about this.
It was so, and I mean this in the funniest way, it's so gay and so awesome. And I was like, no, Tiff, do this. And I went like this, and we went down. It was so lovely. Like everything about it was just a dude doing a half heart to a couple with a dog on a bridge. And then I had to show her what it was. And I'm like, yo, do the thing to the guy. And it was, I don't know, it was fucking awesome. It was just such a vibe. So it was so sweet. Everyone was so nice. I'm like, oh my God, we don't want to leave Paris. This is beautiful. So the beer there, the craft beer had a ways to go, if I'm honest, the local craft.
Sure.
La Binouze was awesome because it had stuff from everywhere. Like they had that massive wall of bottles and stuff, plus fridges of all sorts of stuff. Like all American, Great Notion, fucking you name it. Like all the fire stuff from the States, they had a whole bunch of shit. So that was really cool. The local stuff, yeah, I had heard from Quebecois folks that they, who go to France a bunch, that like, yeah, man, like chill on your expectations. You know, maybe it's not going to be what you think it's going to be. It was like fine. It was definitely not as advanced as the UK. The UK wasn't that far behind here, to be honest. They have a taste for a lower ABV, like most of the stuff, lots of pale ales, kind of similar to Australia. Whereas like over here, it's a bit higher. America, you know, same deal. Then we went to Nice. Nice was probably one of our favorite. Like, we want to live in the French Riviera. It's the greatest. Have you been down there at all?
I have actually, yes.
Where'd you go?
I've been I've been to Nice when I was on that tour back in 2009, and I've also been to Cannes.
Oh fuck yeah, we didn't get to go to Cannes. I want to go there.
Cannes is very flashy and and very very touristy, but like a very, very nice spot. But I remember really liking Nice a lot.
Fuck yeah. Nice is perfect. We loved it. So same thing. It was just, it's so beautiful. We stayed like just near the train station. This is like area called like something like musicians, like something des musiciens. So it was kind of like a little neighborhoody, like a bit more normal and away from like the old town tourists. And we went down. The old town is probably my favorite old town I've ever been to. So fire. The beer stuff was pretty minimal there, but I did go to a few places. There was this one place called Foam, and they have two locations. One place called Port Olympia, and it's like just past the old town. There's like a mountain next to Old Town. On the other side of that mountain, there's just like a port, and they had a place there. And there's one on this street called Bonaparte, like Avenue Bonaparte. Napoleon used to live there, and they have one just on there. And basically, it's one of those places where you get the card and you pay by weight or how many ounces it pours. So they had their own beers and some guest stuff. That was super cool. The funnest thing, and we've told 50 people this already, at that place, a glass of wine, €4.80. A glass of Perrier sparkling water, €5.60. You go for a glass of wine in Miami, Florida, it's probably $15 US.
Yeah.
The whole time we were like, bye Florida. Nice is the new shit for us. Like, fuck all of this. We're going French Riviera. It's not that expensive. Even accommodation was, if you get it from Airbnb over time, it was very reasonable. Meals were so reasonable, like reasonably priced for such a, you know, beautiful spot. We even went to, I wanted to swim, and we went, Steve, I'll talk about Steve in a second, from Southern Ontario Beer Boys. He was telling us the beach club that he went to, there were like €10 Cokes. Coca-Cola was 10 for his daughters who are underage. Like, you guys, it was fucking so expensive. Everything was crazy. So we went to a beach club because I went to at like 5 p.m. They close at 6, but they have a restaurant. They were like, well, look, the beach club's closing, but what you could do, you come into the restaurant like part and just grab a lounge, which is basically the same as the beach things, just not on the rocks. They don't even have sand. It's fucking rocks. And all you do is just order a drink each, and I could just go swim. You have to pay the €30 or whatever it is, like a fee just to be at the beach club. So I got to go and swim, which is rough walking on rocks. That hurts a lot. But the water was beautiful. Everything. Yeah, so that was like a nice little plug. So we did that. The other thing, quick coffee note. My friend Kyle, who you know from Ottawa, he has a cafe there now. I forget the name. So he messaged me when he saw I was in Paris. He's like, my favorite roaster is called People Possession, and my favorite cafe there is called Tecate, T-A-N-A-T. And he told me like on my last day, and I was nowhere near it. I'm like, oh, fuck, man. I was right near it almost every day except the day he told me. So I looked on this People Possession website, and apparently they're like the most hype roaster in the world right now from Paris.
Oh, shit.
So I went to their website, and they go, oh, there's stockists out here. And I'll tell you, I bought some of their stuff. They keep it, it's in a can. Like they're in like a tall boy. It's hilarious. Right. Very funky stuff. So I went to their website, and they said, oh, where do you stock us in Nice? There were 3 places. I went to 2 of the places, and I was like, all right, you got the shit. Like, how does, do you do it for espresso or whatever? Like, no. But they did cold brew with it, and they let us try the cold brew. So, and they do the cold brew where they have essentially, it's a clear short can, and they just put a lid on it with a proper can lid. So they pour it in there, they seal it, and you crack it, and you drink the cold brew out of a can. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, that's wild.
One of them tasted exactly like, it was like just blueberry, and the other one was like some sort of peach tropical one. So I bought the tropical one because they said the other one was just for filter. They do a lot of filter stuff. So we at least got to get some of the, so we went to 2 different cafes that did that. And one of the other ones that Tiff got tasted like black forest cake. It was just straight like cherries and absolutely phenomenal. Like if you're into coffee, bonkers. The other place in Nice, we went to a 2 places that are, one time was we came back to Nice on the way back after Italy. So the first one was called LA Hops, like ALLEZ Hops, and the owner was, we met the owner and the brewer. He's this dude from Chicago who just came, and it was like 30 years ago, and just didn't want to leave, and just didn't leave back when immigration was probably a little easier, and just didn't leave, and then figured it out. I saw him speaking French to people. He was not particularly good at it. So that means he'd been there 30 years and never really got good. So they were like a beer bar, and they had a bunch of stuff on the shelf. I had like beers from France and elsewhere. So that was super cool. So I tried their beer, like a hoppy lager, fantastic. Really enjoyed that. His name was Dan. Shout out to him. And then on the second trip back, there was a beer bar in Old Town we walked past called Le Brassatorium, but double S, not a C, BRASSI, as opposed to Meso. And it was like a punk beer bar. So we went in there, grabbed some, we had a couple of beers there. That was pretty sick on the one. We had one night before going back to Paris after Italy. So that was all the beer in Nice. Otherwise, it was like relatively pedestrian type of stuff. They had a bunch of the local stuff. Like I didn't even really remember all the names, but nothing stood out. Everything was kind of like pretty mid. So you had to really go out of your way to get the good stuff. Then Italy. Now Italy, which was I guess my final beer. That's why 6 fucking beers. Jesus Christ. So I actually, funnily enough, got Moretti. I don't think I drink Moretti, like I said earlier, in Italy at all, but I drank it so much in England. But in Italy, we found, so we went to the quick version. We were sick of taking the train with too much luggage. It was so annoying. So we just canceled. We were on the train from Paris to Nice, and we canceled our trains, everything else that we already booked, and then rented a car. So we picked up a car in Nice, and that's why we decided to come back to Nice, because we did the loop. So we went to Tuscany for Tiffany's birthday. We've got this thing called an agriturismo, which is essentially a farmhouse in the hills that was like overlooked. It was absolutely beautiful, but you go through those terrifying roads where there's just like enough room for one car, and if another car comes, like someone has to reverse, or like if there's room, you go onto the hill or whatever.
Oh God.
I thought Florida drivers were bad. Italian drivers are psychopathic in a way I've never seen. Like it's like they want to die. Like they'll just hover in between lanes. No one indicates. Speeding up. They're coming up your ass on the lane, like flicking their lights. Like get the fuck out of my way. It was insane. It was so crazy. So they were insane. So we stayed there for a bit in outside of a town called Siena, Siena, and there was absolutely stunning. Italy was gorgeous. What I wanted to say really quickly on that was in France, Kronenbourg. This is a 1664 that you get here. They had OG Kronenbourg. In Italy, everything was Peroni. I tried to get it. I couldn't get it outside of a 6-pack. So that's why I got the Moretti. But everything was Peroni. They had OG Peroni as well. So it was really interesting to see the different types of macros. And I found that the macro, or the easily accessible Italian beers, were the best of anywhere. Like I was never mad if I had to drink Peroni. They also had a few other ones like not Moretti with an M, like Angelo Peretti. There's a bunch of different ones they had with them, sometimes an IPA and different stuff. It was pretty, like I wasn't really mad. There was one specifically called Peroni style, like STILE, like Steel Capri. And we went to Capri, so I drank it there. And there was only a few, I would have had to go to Guelph to get the fucking 6-pack of that, so they didn't have it locally, but it was the Peroni stuff was everywhere. So as far as Italian stuff, I found like it was a little easier to drink good stuff there. It's all good enough stuff. I really wasn't mad at it. So we were there for a bit, then we went to, and we did wineries and all that type of stuff. That was really nice. Aperol Spritz, obviously it's Italian, trying to crush that. we went up to Florence. Have you been to any of these? Did you go to Tuscany at all?
No, I've not been to Tuscany. I've been to Sicily, but not Tuscany.
Okay, so it's probably it wouldn't be too dissimilar with the beer side of things.
No, I wouldn't. No, I mean, from from what I saw with the bits of Italy that I've seen, it's has been kind of similar. I actually did end up having Moretti at more places than Peroni, I think, but but kind of similar. And any kind of craft options that I did find, and I did find a couple of craft shops in in a couple of side alleys in Rome and things like that. Certainly no haze to speak of, but be English IPAs and kind of things like that. This is still going back a ways to 2017 sort of thing, but
right.
Yeah.
So that sounds not too dissimilar to the situation. One on that note, because you said Moretti was everywhere. So we were at a first night in Siena. We went to the Old Town, and they have these things called ZTLs, a Zona Traffico Limitata. It means you can't drive in it. It's like that. If you drive in that fucking area and the ZTL's active, they're gonna fine you. It's like 600 euros or something crazy.
Whoa.
Like it's not good. So
yeah, so that's don't fuck around with that.
No, we did not. And a lot of people were multiple people told me I was absolutely insane for driving in Italy, but I'm a thug and we made it work. But we had to just keep and they don't give a fuck. They park anywhere, dog. They don't give a shit about nothing. Every fuck was double parked constantly. We went to Genova to get a coffee after picking up the car in Nice. And that was my first time. I was like, France, pretty chill. After driving back into Nice after Italy, I'm like, this is like Canada. This is easy. There's little motorbikes buzzing around you like flies constantly. Like you're almost going to hit these fucks. Like everyone's it's just so intense. So when we went to Siena, this first restaurant, the lady, the waitress was like, nobody in Italy drinks Moretti. No Italians drink Moretti. They drink Ignusa, ICHNUSA. And the main one they had was a Keller beer. I was like, all right, that's your fucking main thing. Okay, all right, let's go. It was great. I basically had that everywhere. Then in the supermarkets, because we were cooking for Barrington. So when we had Airbnbs, we go to the normal Italian supermarkets, I love going to foreign supermarkets. Nothing is more fun than that. And I got all the different ones from that brand. They had different, it's all fucking lagers, whatever. But it was fun. So I didn't really have as much Moretti, and I thought it was just really interesting that's what the first thing I heard about that was we don't drink it, but you go to the UK and it's everywhere. And I guess it depends on how touristy the restaurant is, I guess, that you go to.
Yeah.
Which is that, but look, you got to give it, look at that. The clarity is crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
Moretti's good though.
I don't mind it.
Italian lagers, honestly, fuck. It's so nice. It really, truly is a genuine pleasure. So we went to Florence after that. So we did 3 nights in Agriturismo in the middle of nowhere, pitch black at night. It was pretty cool to look at the sky and blah, blah, blah. Went to Florence for 2 nights. Florence, I thought I was going to fall in love with it and I thought it would be the greatest city in the world. It's cool. Nothing, we did the thing where we got there's a rooftop right next to the Duomo, the main thing, and
yep,
drinking Aperol Spritz, looking at that and some other local beers and stuff. It was cool.
Florence is a city. I've been there twice. It's a city where if you're really kind of immersed in Italian culture, you could really fall in love with it for sure. And and particularly if you're into the art scene.
Yeah,
and whatnot, really big for that for sure.
That makes a lot of sense. One quick funny story from that, and this summarized our Italian experience. The Italians compared to the French, it's like everything you do, they're a little. It's like you're walking into their home if it's a restaurant or whatever, and they're very controlling / bossy, but in a funny way. So we went to this place in Florence the first day, and we ordered a beef carpaccio, so it was thinly sliced beef, and they put it on top of arugula with shredded cheese, which is a bit weird, and some little bits of tomato. And so we thought it was just like it wasn't the main part. So we ate all the beef, and then the server was like, "You put some olive oil on the thing, and then eat the salad, and then I'll bring you pizza." Like we were told, like we were children, to eat our salad, or we put the olive oil on. And I'm like, "Oh, this is actually not bad," because at first it felt like dry and boring. I'm like, "Okay, sir." Then they brought the pizza, and we were sitting inside because it was really hot. Everything in Europe was like 37 degrees every day. I had to carry Barrington half the time because the ground would have burned his paws. They had cannolis and these different types. I was like, oh, I really want to try these cannolis. So I'm like, okay, what's that one? That's pistachio cream. That's this. And he's like, okay. Because he's like, what do you want? Oh, that one. He's, what does she want? I'm like, oh, she doesn't really like to say. No. What does she want? And she's like, the normal one. And he's like, okay. Hear me out. Because see, our chef, he just made some fresh tiramisu. You like tiramisu? And then, funnily enough, like in Siena the night before, I didn't even really like tiramisu that much. And I'm a coffee guy. And Tiff wanted it. And I'm like, okay, fine, let's try it. And it was the best tiramisu I've ever had. The custard was fucking incredible. So then it became a thing of trying tiramisu as many places as possible. So when he said that, I was like, open to it. I'm like, okay, he just made it. Like the lady fingers were still crispy. They weren't completely soaked. And then, so he convinced us to get that and then gave us the cannolis to go. He goes, I don't want to stop you. I don't want to control, but I just really want you to have a good experience. And he gave us the cannolis to go. And then they brought us over meloncello shots. Have you ever had that?
Meloncello? No, I've never had that.
Have you had limoncello?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So same thing, but with cantaloupe. So it's orange.
Right.
And they get someone to make it. I couldn't believe how good it was. As in, like, and I found it all in Sorrento, but it was like with natural flavors. It wasn't you can just make it apparently. Like I think you can just mix it with like a base, like a vodka, and you get ground up cantaloupe and you can do this thing. So in the end, they end up gifting us that, giving us the meloncello shots, and it was just like a funny experience. And that's sort of how Italians were for us. So it was kind of cute. I found the second day. So there's a famous, this is a bit of a plug for everybody. Just adding this in. There's a famous sandwich spot called like Al Antico Venaio that everyone lines up for in Florence. So the first day we went right to it and there was like 200 people in line. Would have been hours. We're like, okay, we're not doing this. Just fucking sandwiches, dude. Like in the focaccia or whatever. So we're like, okay. The second day, we only went for one night. Then we liked the hotel. We're like, all right, let's do an extra night. We'll ship it off somewhere else because we needed to rest and we didn't have anything booked for Amalfi Coast. So we needed a day to fucking get our shit together because it was so back to back. We didn't have time because we had all of this stuff and there just wasn't enough time to focus on it. And I found out that sandwich shop, if anyone's been to Florence, they know what's up. This sandwich shop is blown up. It's in New York and Dubai. It's everywhere now, so it's not even a big deal. But there's 3 throughout the city. There's one in the old town, one at the train station, and one by the university. The university was near our hotel because we had to stay outside of the ZTL so we didn't get a fucking fine. We went to that one. There wasn't a single person in there. Like we were the 2 employees, and then we were there. We pulled up, so it was awesome. That was the plug. We went to, and it's right next to the place called like the Museum that you might have been there. The one that has the David Uffizo or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So after that, we went to the first night. Actually, we went to a beer bar. It was called like Art.17 Birra or something. It was like a real like dive bar, but beer bar. They owned their own brewery too, so that was super cool. Tried some shit. Then the next day, we went to one called Alibi Craft, like a craft brewery. I thought it was a brewery, but it's actually a beer bar. They had a whole bunch of local stuff that was awesome. So we sat there for quite a while and crushed that. Everyone's gushing over Barrington. In Italy, he was a genuine celebrity. It was hilarious. That was super cool. So Florence was cool. The beer was actually pretty interesting there, if I'm honest, as far as Italy's concerned. Probably some of the most interesting stuff was out of there. Then we drove down to Sorrento. So stayed in Sorrento. Sorrento is on the bay of like Naples. So Naples or Napoli at the top, and you go past Pompeii, which also tripped me the fuck out. I can't believe we went through Pompeii. Like I heard about it forever.
I've done that tour. It's fucking trippy.
Did you actually go to the ruins and stuff?
Yes. Yeah,
we did not because they don't let dogs in apparently at all. So I was like, I'm not going to deal. But we went around outside of the city and got a coffee in there and stuff. Oh, on the coffee note, real quick. So this is the best part about driving. You know, the en route. So for those in Ontario, the en routes, right? Those corporate owned things where they've got a Canadian Tire petrol station, they've got a fucking Tim Hortons and a Burger King and A&W and a Popeyes and da. In fucking Italy, everyone, it's usually called Auto Grill. You walk in, you got to go to the cashier and pay first, but they got a full espresso. Every gas station, even the shitty small ones, have an espresso bar. I don't really like Italian coffee like that, and nowhere has oat milk. So they call it espresso doppio, like a double espresso. DOPPIO is the Italian word, I believe, for double. So you go and get 2 espresso doppios, and you're supposed to drink it at the bar. Then there's a little right next to it, but you can't pay there. You got to pay at the cashier. It has fucking croissants and like sandwiches and like all just pastries and incredible fresh stuff. So you go tell the lady you get what you want. They're super sweet, you know, even if you can't speak Italian. And then you just pull up at the bar, you drink your fucking espresso, you go get some killer Italian like chocolate and pistachio cookies and stuff, and then dip. It's the best. I'm like completely sold by it. Like, we never drank espresso. We always drink like oat milk drinks and stuff, and we drank so much espresso because no one had oat milk unless you went to the big cities. Like Florence had some good places and Rome had some good places. Nowhere else did. So we were just drinking espressos at the roadside thing, which normally over here would be garbage. Over there, it's incredible. Everything was so fresh. Did you ever see anything like that at all? Because you didn't drive?
No, because we didn't drive. Like any time that we spent on the road was all on bus tours and shit like that. So no, I didn't get to experience that, unfortunately. But that is wild, because when you picture highway roadside stops, you're either picturing Tim Hortons or like the worst carafe drip coffee you've ever had in your fucking life.
And it was not. Yes, that's why it tricked us out. It was fresh espresso, and next to the espresso machine was a whole bunch of oranges, and they make fresh orange juice for you.
Oh, come on!
So I'm like, they are not poisoning their people. That's the difference. In North America and Australia and the UK, they're poisoning us all. You go there, I'm like, you're giving us fresh espresso. They either had soy or dairy milk, which neither of those appealed. So that's why we kept rocking espressos. And a lot, like I'd say like 8 or 9 out of 10, I really enjoyed. Like sometimes they were like so bitter. I'm like, this is a little intense for me. But often they were still a little fruity. Like they were really fucking nice espressos. And you paired it just sometimes with like just a little sweet little thing, like a lot of pistachio cream things. These little cones that they had, we'd often get those. I'm like, it was so good, man. Like even just the little chocolates and just the chips were so interesting. Like, fuck it, Italy rocks. And then Sorrento was such a phenomenal base for the Amalfi Coast because it's not on the Amalfi Coast, it's on the other side. But there's so much more shit happening in Sorrento. So the actual city itself it's popping. So if you didn't go out there, the old town is awesome. There's a marina, there's the ferries and stuff. So basically you base ourselves there. We're at this like, I called the guy and like I can't even believe I drove the car and didn't scratch it, like in all these places that I went to and had to be so aggressive with driving. It was pretty intense. So there, once again with beer, there wasn't a ton of options as far as craft beer in Amalfi, but so I didn't go anywhere there. It was just incredible. You took the ferries every day, Positano, Amalfi, and Capri. A lot of Peronis, a lot of Aperol Spritz. Not really much else to say beer-wise there. Then we went to Rome. Now, Rome was basically the final stop before we went back to Nice and then Paris to leave. So with Rome, the only real thing to mention is kind of the most famous one. It's you might have actually heard of it as well. So I didn't even talk about Steve and Nice, but it was called Marche Siete Venuti a Fa. I forget what it means, but it's this tiny little place. There's this cool neighborhood called Trastevere. If people know,
Trastevere.
Yeah, but
yeah,
my friend Giles who owned Hostel Tevere in Vermont was named after that. I was FaceTiming him. He was telling me where to go. And however you say the fucking word. Multiple people told me to go to that place. So it was so rammed. It was really difficult to sort of navigate, but it was super cool, super dope area. Loved it. It was kind of like Old Port. We didn't stay there. Because we drove, we had to stay in this other area called Prati, which was right next to the Vatican, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, sorry, just to pause on one point. You're very right on that. Is like it felt very similar to the Old Port in Montreal for sure.
Yeah, right. It's tight streets, cobblestone.
Yeah,
but also a little Brooklyn something about it. It was a little cool.
Yeah, and similarly, we didn't stay there, but we went there for dinner one night. This is this is again going back to 2017, so I wasn't quite. I didn't know what to look for in the beer scene back then, but I remember kind of experiencing the neighborhood and having a really nice dinner there.
Hell yeah. And on that, Giles told us to go to this one place called Da Augusto, Augusto, Augusto. Bit of a line, but it was €6 for 500 mils of wine. €4 for a 660 ml bottle of beer, the Peretti. The €12 for homemade pasta by some a nonna in the kitchen. It was fan-fucking-tastic. We went to there. We tried to go to this other beer bar called, I think it was La Botticello or whatever. It was Giles's mate, but we went in. It was right by Piazza Navona, which is a pretty big kind of cool area, and inside the bar was just him. I could recognize him from the photos that Giles sent me, and there was the people at the bar were kind of lined up facing both ways. I'm like, oh, we're never getting served. This is not happening. And the Italians don't give a fuck. You think no one cares. Everyone's just chilling, double parked. Ain't nobody in a rush unless they're on a highway. So we went around the corner and we saw this bookstore called Altro Quando, and it said pub downstairs, and we're like, okay, let's have a look. Why not?
You have my attention.
Let's see. So we went downstairs and we saw this American family that were walking up with holding beers. They're like, yeah, it's sick. I'm like, okay. No one was down there. And the dude didn't speak English. And they had 4 beers on the thing, and they were all craft beers. And one of them I saw was a Keller beer, and it was his Lambrate, Lambrate or something. And I was like, okay, that'll do, Keller beer. And then by the time I went back upstairs, because there's a little patio upstairs to sit there, and I saw it was a collab with the same beer bar I went to the night before, the Marche Siete. And it was one of the best beers I had in Italy. I was like, what the fuck? So I went back downstairs. I'm telling the dude, bro, this was amazing. What else you got? This is crazy. He didn't really speak English, but he gave us his Wi-Fi, and then we were talking to him via Google Translate. Him and Tiff worked out a whole cocktail together that she liked. He took me out back when I picked another beer. He took me to the room where the kegs are so I could see the keg and get the name of the beer proper. It was just so cool. It was just such a wonderful experience.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, just super small. And there was this Irish couple who came in, and they were they couldn't speak Italian either. I was like, honestly, get that fucking Keller beer. It's amazing. I was telling them about it, and they were there, and they were sipping geez, this is awesome. Boom, enjoy that. So it was just it was really nice. So that made up for it. For not being able to get into the other place, it looked like it had some killer stuff as well. But yeah, Rome was super awesome. Obviously, it's the big city. But basically, that kind of brings it to a close. And the only last thing to mention was that Steve from Southern Ontario Beer Boys happened to be in London, Paris, and Nice. And I was in London first, then I went to Australia. And then I think by the time I came back, he was in London. I missed him. Then he was in Paris. By the time I got there, he'd left and he was in Nice. But we got to Nice on his last night. And he was there with his wife and his 2 daughters. So we met up for dinner in this area here, and it was, they have some allergies, so they had to go to a specific restaurant, but it ended up being super chill, an Italian style restaurant, and we just kicked it. And then he's like, I got a little something for us. And his daughters, absolutely, his wife, lovely, daughters, so cool, gymnasts. I don't like children, but they're 17 and 15. They were so smart, they were so cool, they were hardworking young ladies. I really respect the fact if you're going to be a gymnast, you got to go hard. And then he pulls out a fucking Third Moon barrel aged stout. I forgot which one it was. And we're busting that open. He got them at the bar. That's how chill they are. I got them to open it, and then give us plastic cups and allowed us to pour it, and we just drank it in the streets because they don't care. And that was really cool to hang out with Steve and
How fucking cool is that?
Yeah, it was so nice, man. It was really, it was just a full of like the trip was full of random little coincidences like that. So that was like really dope. And they had to get up like ridiculous early, like get up at 5 a.m. I think by the time they got back was 1 or 2 or something like that. So they went hard. But all that to say.
And like I remember seeing that, and you and I were texting about it after the fact and thinking like, how fucking hilarious is it that like he lives like maybe a 30-minute drive from you, and it takes you meeting up in fucking Nice to like like to finally connect.
It's the same thing. We also met up with our girl who lives in Vaughan here. She's our designer. We met up with her in Paris, and we don't really see her here either as well. It was just like, yeah, okay, cool. We'll see you in London, Paris, Nice, whatever the fuck. Like it's pretty funny when you go and meeting up with all these people there. So the Europe side was interesting with beer. It got me used to drinking Crispies a little bit more. And then having something different like an Aperol Spritz, and sort of, maybe I have 1 or 2 beers and I have 1 or 2 Aperols and I'm blessed. Or the limoncello. I was always drinking the limoncello. It's just when in Rome type shit, if that's what they're doing. So overall, it was fun. It was good to see.
And just drinking straight espresso at highway stops.
And it was killer espresso at highway stops and super fresh sandwiches. It was great. Even one time when in Rome, we had to get eggs for Barrington's food, and we had a few left over. So Tiff boiled them and then brought them on the road. So we got like a sandwich, and we split the sandwich, and then we just had boiled eggs. Take a bite of the boiled egg and a bite of the sandwich. And I'm like, this is sick. Like, it was so healthy. It was so like pure, and it was like on the complete opposite of a lot of the things that we experience out here. And it made me realize, like, man, all these countries, we're just fucking poisoning ourselves, and we're not even giving the options of these like healthy foods and like fresh pressed juice. No, it's some fucking sugary shit in a bottle, and like, like, granted, they're making sugary pastries, but they're like, their butter and all the ingredients they're making it from is much higher quality because they've got so many strict rules over there as far as what can be put into food. So it was just really nice. It was kind of eye-opening, even if like the beer that I prefer to drink wasn't particularly present. It was really interesting exploring what they had to offer and sort of leaning into it and not trying to feel like I'm missing out because I'm not drinking fucking the Ketch and da-da-da. Like, I'm like, no.
Well, geez, man. Like, I mean,
yeah.
the Ketch is still going to be here when you get back, right?
Yeah, exactly. I felt that for sure.
Yeah. Like, if anything, as you're talking about this, it's one of those things that, like, you don't really need to feel the kind of FOMO that we feel so often. Like, even if we miss 2 or 3 releases of one thing, they're still going to be brewing fire. Like whatever it is that comes up next, it's fine. And I'm so glad that you guys had such a long experience of travel, like over, like, particularly your experience in Europe seems to have really been particularly eye-opening, and I'm really glad for you guys that you had that after kind of having been for so long since having experienced that. That's really cool to hear.
Thanks, man. It was nice because we just all of our time we just drive around North America, like Canada and the States, and that's fucking awesome. It was just really cool to experience something else. Yeah, right. Like. Yeah. I feel like all I feel now is that the world has opened up to me because I know how to take Barrington on the plane. And now I'm like, there's obviously restrictions with that. I know because with California, we're approved to fly him from Canada to anywhere in the States on Air Canada for the next 12 months. And then you just get it approved again. And we know which airlines to use to get into Europe. UK is a lot stricter. Europe is actually very, very chill. So we could fly to Portugal, Spain, Italy, France, wherever with no problem. And now I know how to drive over there. And it was stressful. The tolls were very expensive. There's a bunch of issues with that. And like the roads sometimes can be super tight. Drivers a bit psycho, but we survived, like kind of what you said as well, like earlier about your shit, like we survived, we got through it, it's okay. Now I know how to do it. And yeah, it was just nice to see a different side of things, and I just feel like our minds are kind of opened up to a lot, over and above the North American thing, and we have a really amazing here. There's a lot of things we have that we do right here. That's the other thing. It's just almost like travel, just like in a bit of a broader sense. That was the largest trip we've done in quite some time. Just really shows you like why the fuck doesn't, like, say, all government officials or people who are in charge of things travel all the time to be like, hey, you know what, in California they paint the curb red when you can't park there, and then it's blue if it's disabled, and then it's like green if it's all good. Why the fuck don't we do that? Why do we make it so hard and police everybody on so many things? Hey, you know what? People in Italy can take the glasses out of a restaurant and go and stand down the corner, and it's fine, and no one's fucking losing their shit over it because they bring it back and no one dies. Like, it's just like all these small things. You're just like, we over police ourselves in the West, I think, a lot more, even though technically that's the West too, but you just see these things that are a little bit more laissez-faire, I guess, and you just like, that just seems nicer. Like, why can't we do that? Even if you do something small, like go to Key West or Savannah, Georgia, and you can just drink in the streets, and people aren't, or Vegas, and they're not just dropping dead. I'm like, or in the States, they don't have marijuana legal. We have it legal here. You're not seeing we're not smelling weed and everyone's fucking high all the time. It's pretty chill. So it's sort of all these different things that you kind of look at. I'm just like, there's things that Europe can definitely learn from us, and there's things that we can learn a lot from here. And it's just,
for sure,
it was nice to have that perspective, and particularly with beer, and just to see where everything's at. So yeah, I think it's you can't really lose wherever you're at. I think everything is exciting and fun and cool, and there's always something great happening wherever, and whatever you're into, you sort of, maybe you have to search a little more to find the good haze out there, and that's okay. Maybe they don't care, and that's probably why it's wonderful that there are things that we talked about earlier, like that track festival, that Welcome to the Neighborhood, that brings all the Canadians out there. They do that in all parts of Europe. We see all of our friends, like Ketch and Wills and Brewski and Third Moon and Badlands and all these people going all over Europe, bringing their stuff. So, yeah, everyone's sort of spreading the gospel of all the good shit. So it was just cool to see it for ourselves for a bit and get a bit of perspective.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. It's
travel
it's
is fucking travel is fucking rad. I'm I'm really glad that you saw so much over the last few months.
Thank you, man.
And I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Well, you will obviously you got the family. Once they're a little older, it'll probably be a little easier for you guys to do it. Also, our trip, it's too much in a short time. If I'm honest, it was too much.
Oh, for sure.
And it was unquestionably.
Yeah. No, like unquestionably, it might it certainly would have felt like too much at some point. And as I say, like, I'm jealous, and the thing that my wife and I keep telling ourselves is that, like, there will be time for that. Once my kids get to a certain age, we'll be doing those trips too, and bringing them on those trips, and it'll be fucking awesome. And they'll get exposure to that too, and I'm looking forward to it.
That is exciting. Seeing Steve with his daughters, and they were so like, oh yeah, last time we went to Italy and we done this and done that, and as sort of young adult women saying that, I was like, oh, y'all are like worldly. Like, I don't know how many of their friends are doing all of this, but the fact that the best meal was in Italy, we went to Ventimiglia for the day. You take the train, because if you're in the south of France, it's so easy to take the train. Like, they just had this stuff. I'm like, you're 17 or 15. And
this is just awesome. No big thing to them. Yeah,
it's no big thing.
That's great. No, I love that.
Because they'd taken them before, and they knew how to operate, and they knew what was up. And I was like, that's dope. That's really like a really cool thing for a young person. I wish, I didn't travel until I took myself when I was 22 overseas. My family never took us anywhere.
That was the same for me too.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like I didn't leave North America until I took that trip after I finished university when I was like 23 years old.
Oh, so we were the same. Yeah, I was 22 and turned 23 like a month in. Okay.
Yep.
So then
exactly.
You and I are responsible for our own exposure to the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's actually cool that you're now able to give your children, when the time is right, which hopefully be in the next few years, exposure to these things that they'll never forget. And they'll be able to understand that, hey, people speak different languages, and hey, they eat food like this. And hey, they, particularly I know as he's, getting a little bit older, and maybe he's like 7 or something, and he's like seeing that shit and is really able to clock it and sort of understand that things move a bit different, and that'll help him just be a better rounded adult in the world and stuff. It's
and like we're already seeing it. I mean, he's only 4 right now, and we've brought him to Mexico 3 times already, and like he's already like, I mean, because we raise him in English and French, he speaks both of them completely fluently. Like can switch between the 2 of them no problem, no matter who he's talking to. But now, even just a couple of times we've brought him to Mexico, like any Spanish that he can speak to, to any of the servers or staff there, like he'll just walk by staff and say hola to them, and they'll just crack up, and because he's just puts a huge smile on their faces. It's so cute. It's the most beautiful thing to see.
That's going to make him such a great human. And I see the value of that now. And I feel like maybe that's something that we didn't get the opportunity, it sounds like. And even Tiff only went to Jamaica and England. That's more than I did. I went nowhere at all. You went to maybe you went to the States. You go to the States before you left, I imagine, right?
I mean, we drove down to Disney World twice.
Okay, so that's still because Australia is so remote as far as the world's concerned. So we went nowhere. Literally went to Queensland once and Sydney once. No, Sydney once? Or I took myself to Sydney. We went to Queensland as a family, and I took myself later on for music. So we didn't there's nowhere to go. So you got to go to Southeast Asia or New Zealand or something. Otherwise, you're on a fucking 16-hour plane to LA at the very minimum. So it's cool that you got the opportunity to do that, and that opening their mind. So all of that to say, travel is awesome, beer is awesome all over the world. It's exciting to see what's happening everywhere. So I'm genuinely grateful for that experience. I do wish it was, this is a UK trip, then come back, then the Australia trip, and then all.
If you didn't have to jam all of that into 3.5 months, that's pretty fucking intense.
Yeah, it was a lot. I'm not surprised that we copped into being sick was a little bit miserable, particularly in Melbourne when it was rainy and cold, and it was I had to bail on some stuff and didn't get to do some things because of it. But that's the price you pay, I guess, with the elongated travel. So with all of that, I have piss coming out of my nose. So you want to wrap it up and then we'll finish? Or do you want to pause for a second, then we finish? What do you feel is better?
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're more urgent than I am. Are you able to wrap it up, or do you want to take a piss break first?
Let's wrap it up real quick. I can push through 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right. Guys, thank you for bearing with us. First one back for a while. We gave you 4 hours of bangers. So, we got all these stories and we felt like it was worth sharing. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and definitely happy to hear any thoughts, favorite places that you've been, things that maybe we should check out next time we're in any of these places. Always down to hear that, because I keep a list of everything anyone's ever told me about any of these places. So definitely here to hear. I am down to hear anything people say. So
there you go. You got there.
We got there. I'm not used to drinking this much. I got a lot of half full glasses here, which is even funny. I'm not even. Yeah, I got to work on this tolerance again. This is going to be rough with our podcast like this. Jesus Christ. So with all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit that notification bell. Nathaniel.
Ding.
So
Still remember how to fucking do this.
You did, right? See, we're getting back into it. Follow us everywhere at BAOS Podcast, at Nathan Does Beer. Check out the long form audio. Now we are going to be back. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you get it. YouTube. You know the vibes. And we will see y'all in the next one. Get in ya.
Cheers.